on Fox 17.
Corey Schlesinger fights his way for a pickup of 5, and we want to welcome those of you who saw the Falcons knock off the Packers 23-20 in Green Bay. Kurt Menefee, along with Ray Bentley, just one play into this one here in Arizona. First pass attempt of the day, and that's going to be incomplete, out of bounds. Pass intended for Scotty Anderson. Second look at that Cardinal defense. Front 4, Burke, Tanner, Russell Davis, and Fred Wakefield, the rookie free agent from Illinois. Fredrickson, McKinnon, and Thompson, the linebackers. And in the secondary, Chavis and Tom Knight, who has missed the last couple of games with a bad hamstring, is back in there. Pat Tillman and Kwame Lassiter, the 2 safeties.
Speaking of Tom Knight, that's a guy that Charlie Batch told us, hey, we're going to go after him. We're going to check that hamstring out. Those are hard to come back from, our hamstring injuries.
The officials trying to sort something else out here. Our referee today, Bill Carollo, adjusting the spot of the football. So it moves it out to the 23. It'll be a 3rd and 5. Lions need to get the ball to the 28-yard line for the first down. 4 receivers in for Detroit. That's quick pass over the middle end. It's caught for a first down. Johnny Morton. Pick up of 14 yards.
And this is a great job of Charlie Batch throwing behind the blitz. You're going to see the blitz coming from this side. It's going to come in here, and that's where Morton comes in, right behind the blitzing Corey Chavis. The corner comes in, so they void that spot. That's the hot area, and Batch hit it perfectly.
From the 37, Reuben Drones. His first carry of the afternoon, good for a 1-yard pickup. Running the ball has been something that the Lions have struggled to do. It has not been a wonderful life without James Stewart.
Well, look at this, 58.3 a game. That's as bad as it can get.
Kind of going with a hurry-up offense. Batch hurries up and completes the pass to Burt Emanuel. Ronald McKinnon and Rob Fredrickson on the tackle, and looks like the Lions trying to go up-tempo to get something started offensively this week.
Well, and that's, they thought last week, the second half, that they got a good rhythm. They didn't have that in the first half, and they've been a slow-starting football team on offenses this season. So Marty's thinking, hey, let's try and speed things up from time to time, get a rhythm, catch the Cardinals off guard, and see if we can get something going.
They go with a huddle on 3rd and 5. They've got to get it to the 42 for the first. Or pardon me, the 47. They're at the 42. Johnny Morton coming out of the backfield. Batch goes to Morton, completes it for the first down and more. Into Arizona territory. Down to the Arizona 47 before Ronaldo Hill forced him out after a 12-yard gain. And there's Thomas Burke, who is slow to get up, and Burke has been battling injuries his whole 3-year career here. As a matter of fact, this year he's missed time with a leg contusion, with a hamstring. And that's a position on this defensive line where the Cardinals have been thin all season long. An injury timeout. 12:41 left to go in the first quarter. No score here in Arizona.
Fox NFL Sunday is brought to you by Southwest Airlines, proud sponsor of the NFL and official airline of Super Bowl 36.
Arizona defensive end Thomas Burke walked off under his own power. May have gotten poked in the eye.
I think either that or his shoulder. They were working on that right shoulder too. It was one of those weird ones where you couldn't see anything, and then the play was over, and he laid down on the ground. So Fadafehi comes in place of Burke.
First down for the Lions. Corey Schlesinger. Short pickup of 2 yards. We pick up James Brown for an NFL game break.
Kurt trailing 22-14. San Francisco with 1:50 left. Drive 66 yards. Garcia to Owens. Within 2 with 1 second left. They go for the 2-point conversion. Garcia to Eric Johnson. Knocks it up at 22. They're now in overtime. Back to Kurt and Ray.
All right, thanks a lot, JB. Lamont Warren brought down for a loss by Adrian Wilson. We talked about this Arizona defense somehow finding a way to come up big every time they need him.
Wilson came up big. He came up on a blitz, and they tossed it right into it. You're going to see Wilson come up from this side. He's going to show up, and the penetration is what killed it. I mean, Matt Joyce didn't even have a chance to block Wilson. He was up into the Lions' backfield so fast.
Dropped them all the way back to the Detroit 49-yard line, a loss of 7. So it'll be 3rd and long. They've got to get it to the 36-yard line for the first down. Batch gets it out, but it's not going to be nearly enough for the first down. Matter of fact, Corey Tavis stopped Scotty Anderson far short of it.
And the Cardinals play it safe in the secondary. You're going to see 2 men are going to be deep. It's cover 2. And look at all these Cardinal bodies underneath. You're going to have 6 players underneath with the 2 men deep, just a 3-man rush. And they're going to let you catch the ball in front and make a tackle. That's a sound defensive scheme by the Cardinals.
Arnold Jackson, the rookie free agent, back to take the punt from John Jett. Caught right at the 5-yard line. Nice job done by Jimmy Wyrick. So the Cardinals will begin deep in their own territory. No score here in the first quarter. Jake Plummer and the Arizona Cardinals offense begins at its own 6-yard line. And Plummer, over the last half dozen games, they're 2-4 in that span, but more touchdowns and interceptions, which is always a big number for him.
And they've lost the last 3 in a row, and they've been close in those ball games, and Plummer just hasn't been able to pull out his miracles late in the game, which he did so well back in '98 when they had a winning record.
From the 6, Plummer passing from his own end zone. That pass intended for Frank Sanders, too high, incomplete. Looking at the offensive front for the Cardinals, the biggest offensive line in the National Football League. Shelton, Kendall, Grunadoria, the rookie Davis, and Anthony Clement. We showed you David Boston with 4 straight 100-yard receiving games, along with Frank Sanders, the 2 receivers. Pittman and Makovicka in the backfield. Tywan Mitchell gets the 3rd straight start at tight end for the injured Terry Hardy.
No tight ends for the Cardinals, 3 wide receivers.
On 2nd down. Plummer under pressure in the end zone, escapes and gets rid of it. That pass complete to Frank Sanders for a gain of 4. And boy, that Lions defense came awfully close to picking up a safety. You see the big change on the defensive front. Kelvin Pritchett in for the injured Luther Ellis, who didn't even make this trip with that bad elbow. Green, Claiborne, and Aldrich. Stephen Boyd still out with that bad back at linebacker. Terry Fair, Todd Light, the corners. Ron Rice and Kurt Schultz, the 2 safeties.
You see the Lions defense has really been porous on opening drives. 3 touchdowns allowed. That's the most in the NFL.
They've got to get to the 16 to keep this one going. Under pressure again. And he escapes again, completes it to Frank Sanders, who gets the first down.
Frank Sanders is going to come in motion on this thing late and then come underneath. They get a bunch. Watch, you see, he came in motion. Now he's going to go underneath, and Mitchell is going to go on the next level behind him. And this is the safe pass for Plummer to dump it and move the chains. A nice job by Plummer of avoiding that rush and getting the ball out over the middle to Sanders.
7 yards on the play. First down out to the 18-yard line. Michael Pittman, his first carry of the day, going nowhere. In fact, dropped for a loss of 3 by Chris Claiborne.
And Robert Porcher in there as well. I mean, that was doomed from the start. As you see the Cardinals first quarter. Look at this number right here. And this is in 3 years, basically, 2.5 years. They've only scored 3 offensive touchdowns in the first quarter. They've given up 31. That's part of the problem that Jake Plummer has in throwing his interceptions. They're playing from behind all the time, and you know he's going to throw the football, so you gear up for that.
Well, after the loss, he's got a 2nd and long. Forced to go to the air. Under pressure again, and Jake Plummer goes down. Chris Claiborne in there, catching him right at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play.
Claiborne came on the blitz and the pressure. They're coming after Jake Plummer. I mean, we talked about that early on, and It's hard to see where they come from right here, but he has no time. I mean, just as soon as he hits the back foot, things break down, and he can't get rid of the football. And the Lions, Vince Tobin, who was in Arizona, has an idea of how to attack Jake Plummer, and blitzing is a big part of that.
They're going to give Claiborne a sack for that one. Another 3rd and long situation. Arizona needs the 28 for the first. From the shotgun. Over the middle of the field, bobbled and caught by Frank Sanders. All the way out to the 36-yard line, a gain of 21 and another first down. Boy, Ron Rice almost there on that one.
This is a great catch by Frank Sanders, and the Lions, you know, we talked about the blitz, and they continue to blitz. You're going to get a zone blitz where the lineman's going to back out, and he's playing the underneath zone, and Plummer has enough time. They pick it up well enough so that he can get Sanders to clear right in front of the linebackers and catch that ball. And that's another case of execution for that Cardinal offense.
Michael Pittman. Gain of 6 on the play.
You know, Pittman had an outstanding game. I mean, his best career game, as a matter of fact, when they played the Lions 2 years ago right here. He broke out for 133 yards in that one, and he hasn't really been that same guy since. Hasn't had that kind of game since. And you know, he's trying to, hey, I got the Lions again, and maybe I can get healthy again.
That was in 1999. That's his career high, and that was his first NFL start in that game. Movement early, penalty marker down, and you heard Plummer try and go with a hard count, but he may have got one of his own guys.
I think he got Steve Bush. It's tight end.
A referee, Bill Carollo.
Prior to the snap, false start. 87, offense. 5-yard penalty, 2nd down.
Bush is new to the Cardinal offense, so he's not used to hearing this. It's always tough to, you know, you're a new guy coming in. One of the first things you have to get used to is the cadence. And Bush isn't quite used to it yet.
Plummer to the air on 2nd down again. This complete to Marte Jenkins, who slips the tackle, gets into Lion territory, and finally forced out of bounds near the 30 by Chris Claiborne, but credit him with a 34-yard pickup.
The timing on this is outstanding. Here we go. It's Jenkins working on Terry Fair, but watch, as soon as he comes out of his break, the ball's going to be delivered, and it's right there. And it doesn't give Fair a chance to close that gap and make a play on the football, and then he comes up and misses a tackle, and that gets Jake excited. This is a nice drive by the Cardinals right here.
Well, Plummer's completed 4 of his first 5 for 67 yards. Plenty of reason to be pumped up. Just shy of the 29-yard line.
A run formation for the Cardinals.
They've got 2 tight ends in. Michael Pittman does just that, picking up 5 yards on the play before Ron Rice and Barrett Green stop him.
This is a classic zone play where everyone's going to step out and go this way, and now Pittman's got a choice. He can read the head of that defensive lineman, and here's what he sees. The cutback lane is open, and that's what he takes. Just a zone blocking play where everybody steps out and really blocks an area, and then it's up to the back to run to daylight.
They've done a nice job of mixing it with the run to Pittman and pass plays to the wide receivers. Jake Plummer. Frank Sanders once again, another Cardinal first down. He's trying to break away. He can't. We can break away, though, to Los Angeles for another update from JB.
To find out that Garrison Hurst took a 31-yard run down in the field goal range. Jose Cortez bangs home a 26-yard field goal for San Francisco. They win it. San Francisco this season is down 3-1 in OT. Back to Kurt and Ray.
4 overtime games already this season. But you know what? We talk about good teams find a way to win. Sometimes you have to come from behind to do that, and San Francisco has done just that.
Plummer very hot, 5 of 6 for 75 on this drive.
After the 7-yard pass play, it's a first down at the 16. Michael Pittman again through a hole. Down inside the 10-yard line, a gain of 8, maybe 9 on the play, and This is a nice drive being strung together. Remember, they started at the 6-yard line.
Look at the confusion on the Lions defense. We're pointing over here, and we're not set over here with Scroggins, and all of a sudden the ball snapped, and Detroit was not ready for that down, and here comes Pittman, and that's why he gashes him for 8 yards. Lions were not ready to go.
This is the 12th play of the drive. Michael Pittman again. Gets the first down and pushes the pile.
And Arizona has struggled in the red zone this season, and in particular in the last 3 games, they've really had a hard time punching it in. You see just 41% touchdowns, and you want to be up about 60-65%, then you're good. And right now they're in an area where they've had trouble putting the ball in, and Detroit knows this. This is a huge part of the game right now for the Lions to try and stop the Cardinals in this drive.
And that's been the reason they've had trouble scoring points this year. I mean, only 10 last week against the Giants, 7 the week before against Philly, and 3 the game before that against Dallas. But now it's 1st and goal at the 3, and Plummer is forced to call a timeout. So while Jake Plummer takes a timeout, we will too. We're still scoreless in Arizona. Well, Michael Pittman getting the contact worked on over on the sideline.
Got his eye popped out in that last run, so Thomas Jones goes in.
Well, they want to make sure he's able to see the goal line, which has been a trouble for this team offensively. We showed these stats from the red zone last week against the Giants in the red zone twice, only got a field goal out of it.
And there was speculation that they put the wraps on Jake Plummer because they're worried about a turnover down in this area.
Well, it's 1st and goal from the 3. The pitch to Thomas Jones. Dancing around into the end zone. Touchdown, Arizona Cardinals.
This is just good blocking out in front by the fullback Makovica, and then the center. Watch Grudadoria. He's going to go and pull and lead this thing. Excuse me, it's actually the guard over there that does it. That's Kendall, number 66, who leads and pulls the thing and just knocks enough people off. Makovica in the way as well, and Jones gets it into the end zone.
His 3rd rushing touchdown of the season. Bill Gramatica on for the extra point. And he puts it through. So the Arizona Cardinals take their first possession of the ball game, 94 yards in 13 plays. Thomas Jones, 3-yard touchdown run, capped it off, and a 7-0 lead.
Fox NFL Sunday is brought to you by Lexus and the all-new ES300, a new world of luxury. By Budweiser, with the crisp, clean, refreshing taste you'll find in no other beer. By UPS, the official delivery company of football fans everywhere. And by Capital One, who asks, what's in your wallet?
Thomas Jones' touchdown run from 3 yards out gave the Cardinals a 7-0 lead. The Detroit Lions set to take the kickoff and try and get back in this one, but they lose a big weapon. Desmond Howard injured on the opening kickoff, a shoulder injury. His return doubtful, so Larry Foster now back to take the kick from Bill Gramatica. Foster from the 4. Penalty markers down on the play. Foster's down as well, tackled by David Barrett at the 22.
That's going to be holding again on the Lions. 2 kickoff returns, 2 holdings.
Holding, 52. Reverse takedown, 10-yard penalty. First down.
I thought you got 2 points for a reverse
2 points
takedown.
for the reverse on Kolakowski. Here's that touchdown at student body left. Starkey's going to do a nice job reaching, and then Kendall comes out, and he's going to hook the outside man. And this is, you heard the reverse takedown? Watch Kendall right here. There's a little reverse takedown as well. Got away with it. Touchdown Cardinals.
Lions start from the 10-yard line. Batch under pressure. Brought down. Got rid of it, though. Penalty flag as well. You got it out to Ruben Drones, but let's see what all this is about. Mario Fatafehi bringing the heat. That's going to be a face mask against the Cardinals.
The protection broke down. Batts couldn't get the thing out. He wanted just a 3-step hitch outside. You're going to throw to his right.
Personal foul, face mask, 79 defense, 15-yard penalty from the end of the completion, first down.
So that is called against Fadafehi, who almost had the sack. But now we know why.
You see that scoring drive for the Cardinals. 13 plays. He went 94 yards, topped off by the Thomas Jones 3-yard touchdown run. It could have been a Pittman touchdown run, but he lost a contact, and Jones took it in.
Lions out at the 29. Lamont Warren going to be dropped for a yard loss on the play. Russell Davis with the tackle. And there you see scoring points is something that the Cardinals have had trouble doing the last 3 games. As a matter of fact, head coach Dave McGinnis said in those 3 games they played 180 minutes. They trailed 140 of them.
And that's always tough on this guy, Jake Plummer. Playing from behind, we talked about it, just puts more pressure on your quarterback. He thinks he has to do more, and that leads to mistakes.
Lions with 2nd and 11. They've got Reuben Drones, the running back, spread out wide to the left. Batch over the middle, complete. Bert Emanuel. Forced out of bounds right at midfield. As a matter of fact, at the Cardinal 49-yard line for a gain of 22. Down to the field and DJ Johnson.
Hey guys, Cardinals defensive end Thomas Burke was taken off the field earlier and injured. He's been evaluated on the sideline. He's had ice on both his neck and his shoulder. His return at this time is questionable. He's moving very gingerly on the sideline. Back up to you guys.
Well, Burke has a neck stinger, and you know how that goes sometimes, right?
That's right, and that puts Fadafehi in the game right over there.
On first down, backs. Corey Schlesinger can't hold on, incomplete.
It's Ray Thompson coming up and putting it on Corey Schlesinger, who had a great game last week. You know, Corey Schlesinger has really become an excellent part of this West Coast offense that Marty Morningway is trying to put together. They really feel good about his role. He's really worked hard on being able to catch the football, and you know, it's great when a guy actually puts in the extra time like Schlesinger does, and then it pays off for him out on the football field.
Reuben Drones with the carry. Kind of carries Pat Tillman for a gain of 7. Tillman, one of those guys in this Arizona defense who's fighting back from injuries. We talked about how injured they've been this year.
Fadafehi gets up the field too far, and that's going to create the seam. It's caught, and it's a nice block by Schlesinger on the outside. And that's one of the things that he's always done well. Corey Schlesinger is blocking.
Batch has been perfect on 3rd downs today. They just need to get to the 39 here. They do. Bert Emanuel out to the 30. Another first down and a gain of 12.
Emanuel's got one-on-one coverage on the outside. He's working on Chavis, and watch him work the inside. Chavis has got to take away the inside. You saw he was head up on the receiver, and anytime you're head up, you're going to give the guy a two-way go, and that's just really easy for Emanuel now to take that inside cut and make the play.
Emanuel making his 2nd start as a Lion, just signed 3 weeks ago. On the play action. Almost intercepted. Ronald McKinnon got a hand in there on the pass, which was intended for the tight end, David Sloan.
And Sloan doesn't get any separation from McKinnon, and Bat stares him down. Here's what you're going to get is just a little hook pattern by the tight end. You see there's a nice job of McKinnon of getting and closing the gap at the end, but there's no separation. I think Sloan needed to take that just a little bit wider, because you got to know where the guy's coming from.
McKinnon, the guy who's put together back-to-back 200 tackle seasons, always busy for this Arizona defense.
Here they come on the blitz.
Lions pick it up. Lamont Warren out near the first down marker. Corey Chavis with the stop. That's going to be the last play of this first quarter. The Arizona Cardinals took it 94 yards and scored on their first possession. The Lions looking to do the same on their second. I'm sure I don't need to remind you, because it's one of America's great traditions. Thursday, Thanksgiving Day, Well, we have an NFL tradition for you, beginning with America's #1 pregame show. JB, Terry, Howie, and Chris get you ready for kickoff. Did Brett Favre and the NFC Central leading Green Bay Packers look to stay on top when they visit these Detroit Lions? Coverage begins Thanksgiving Day at 11:30 a.m. Eastern Time, 8:30 in the morning Pacific. So get out of bed early to watch more football on Fox.
Can't wait to do that with a full stomach, no less.
Less than a yard short of the first down. Corey Schlesinger just lowers his head. This is going to be close. Mario Fatafei, he caught him kind of in the backfield, but Schlesinger leaned forward. We'll see if he got enough.
Yeah, Fatafei, he came off the backside and was really unblocked and made a nice play, but I think Schlesinger's momentum is going to carry him to the first down. Here's Mario Fatafei. He's going to try and get down there and constrict and come around the horn on that. And Lassiter's moving with the motion. There's Fatafei. You see he beats the inside block of Drones and is able to make the play.
Fatafei, since coming in for the injured Burke, has been a very active player. We called his name several times. You see the Lions get the first down to keep the drive going.
Fatafei, that #5 pick out of Kansas State, is playing quite well right now in place of Burke. Gotta love it when you get your chance.
Lions with the 10th play of the drive. They fake the handoff to Burt Emanuel, and Batch gets rid of it, incomplete, in the direction of David Sloan, but that was more of a just get rid of the ball kind of pass, wasn't it?
Well, what happened was Schlesinger trying to sneak out of the backfield. He got tackled, so he wasn't able to get out there. Batch had nowhere to go with it. But you look at the first quarter stats, and it's all slanted towards the Cardinals. The big thing, they completed or converted on both of those third downs in the long touchdown drive that they had.
After the incompletion, 2nd and 10. That's Lamont Loring dashing through the middle inside the 10-yard line. Gain of 13 on the play. Pat Tillman with the stop.
Lamont Warren comes in and makes a big run on his initial carry of the ball game, and this is good blocking up front again. You get the pull coming around on the offensive line is simple, and he clears the way, and you give Warren credit. I mean, he stuck that thing right up there in the hole. Carried a few guys at the end.
So the Lions with 1st and goal from the 6. Stopped in the backfield, Reuben Drones. Boy, and he was hit immediately by Pat Tillman.
And Pat Tillman comes up and makes a big play, but the Lions tried to pull Brendan Stye on this one, and he missed his block. Right here's what you're going to get. He's going to come over and pull. Tillman's going to come up, and there's supposed to be a collision, but there isn't. See, Tillman, the guard misses him. Stye misses him, and Tillman shoots right in there and makes the play. And Pat Tillman missed a few games earlier in the year, and he's back in there now, and he is sorely missed. He really helps the Cardinals supporting in the run game.
4-yard loss on the play. That's with time towards the end zone, broken up, and the penalty marker. Pass intended for Burt Emanuel. Adrian Wilson knocked it down, but let's see what the flag's about.
And that's preliminary signal against the Cardinals.
Illegal contact, 57, before the pass was thrown. 5-yard penalty, correction. 5-yard penalty, first down.
That's an automatic first down. Ronald McKinnon, the guilty party.
There's McKinnon. You're going to see Emmanuel come inside there, and you're going to see the contact right there, illegal contact, and that's right where Batch was throwing the football. McKinnon's actually he's a guy who had 3 interceptions in one game against the Bears a couple years back. He's very good in the passing game, but didn't get away with that one.
It's a good drive by the Lions. Play number 13. Reuben Drones stopped by Ronald McKinnon right at the line of scrimmage. No gain.
Cardinals blitzing again in the red zone, and when you do that, it's hit or miss. And, you know, you see how many times they've blitzed. 5 times so far, and they're batting, what, 40%. That's not too bad on the blitz game.
Couple drops for a loss.
As long as these first downs don't turn into touchdowns, then you're all right.
You see the play clock winding down, and the Lions are still in the huddle. I'm not sure they got reset.
Yeah, they gave him a new 25.
Yeah, you looked at it, that wound down awfully fast. I wasn't sure they reset it, and they didn't, but they do now. The Lions with plenty of time. 2nd and goal. Bats just gets rid of it again. Ronald McKinnon bringing the pressure.
Yeah, and that's just nowhere to go with the ball for Charlie Batch. I mean, first he's looking play side for Anderson, which they told us they have a special package for him. This is just a speed out. Just try and beat the man to the sidelines. If he's not there, then you're going to have to pull it down, which is what Batch did. And then he had a route coming from the backside, but that was also covered very well by the Cardinals, and Charlie had nowhere to go with it.
So it's 3rd and goal from the 5-yard line. Batch towards the end zone again. Penalty markers down, a lot of pushing and shoving. Tom Knight and Scotty Anderson were the 2 guys going at it, and one of these guys going to get called for pushing too much.
And usually that's defense, and that's what it is. It's on the defense.
Tom Knight going to get called.
Pass interference, 24. Defense. The foul occurred in the end zone. By rule, we'll put the ball at the 1-yard line. First down.
Well, the Lions said they were going to test out Tom Knight, and here they go. And the problem with Tom Knight is he doesn't get the head back in time, and now he's made contact, and it's affecting Anderson's ability to go up and catch the football.
Tom Knight, a 1st-round pick a couple of years ago, missed the last 3 games with a hamstring injury. And I mean, you played defense. Does it take you a while just to get your rhythm back?
It really
to get used to being in a situation like that?
It really does. It's a tough thing. You see Raiola, he's checked in here at the tight end spot on the goal line.
1st and goal. Corey Schlesinger goes up, but did he get over? No signal from the officials just yet.
And Schlesinger goes airborne for the 2nd consecutive week. This has become a big part of the Lions' short yardage goal line package, is sending Corey Schlesinger up into the air.
Well, the same thing happened to him last week when he tried to go up. He didn't get over. They had a replay. They didn't win that, and they just ran him the next time. We'll see what happens now.
Well, the thing is, he's got to get the ball over the goal line. Doesn't look like he does. I think his head broke the plane, but the ball he kept wrapped up tight, which you have to do, and he didn't get it over the line.
Almost broke more than the plane in that one. 2nd and goal from the 1. Schlesinger again. This time up and over. Touchdown, Detroit Lions. Well, we mentioned same thing happened last week. He went up, didn't get over, and they gave it to him on the next play.
And they're developing a lot of confidence in Corey Schlesinger in critical situations. They get in the football, and they feel like he's going to make a play for him, and Schlesinger does. Again, he just goes airborne, and he gets it over the goal line this time. And that's 2 consecutive weeks now for Schlesinger. Those are his 2 first career touchdowns.
Guy's been in the league for 7 years, had never run for a touchdown until last week. Now he's got it in back-to-back games. Jason Hansen for the extra point. And Hansen kicks it through, so we're all tied at 7 after a nice 16-play drive. 90 yards the Lions go, and Corey Schlesinger caps it off with a 1-yard touchdown.
Fox NFL Sunday is brought to you by Miller Lite. Grab a Miller Lite. It's Miller time. By Visa, it's everywhere NFL fans want to be. By Fidelity Investments, we can help you see yourself succeeding. And by Spy Game, starring Robert Redford and Brad Pitt. Spy Game, in theaters Wednesday.
As of now, we truly have a duel in the desert, thanks to Corey Schlesinger, who scored from a yard out and now has to go out and work on special teams. He's a busy guy.
He is, and that was a long drive for Schlesinger to be in there. 16 plays, and it matched the Cardinals' drive.
Well, the Cardinals had a 13-play drive, 94 yards. Lions, 90 yards and 16. Each culminating in a touchdown. Marte Jenkins from the 1. With a stiff arm, gets it outside. Stephen Trejo forced him out of bounds at the 41-yard line. A nice 40-yard return on the kickoff.
This is nice vision by Marte Jenkins. I think he was supposed to return it the other way, and Detroit overreacts. Watch all the Lions that are going to end up on this half of the football field. Look at them all over there. So Jenkins sees that, and now it's just a foot race where he's going to go out here and get the perimeter. He wins that first race, and then the second one, Trejo wins that one to stop Jenkins, but that's a nice return. Cardinals with excellent field position.
Starting at their own 41-yard line. Michael Pittman back in at running back. Plummer gets rid of it. Frank Sanders. Sanders takes it into Lion territory. 13 yards on the play. Frank Sanders with his 5th catch of the afternoon.
And the Lions are coming up, and they're in a big blitz. They're going to bring a bunch of people, and now Plummer just gets it off. Now he takes a shot at the end, but there's confusion in Detroit's secondary. Nobody ends up on Frank Sanders after they get that bunch over there. 3 receivers in the same area. They lose track of Sanders on the blitz.
First down at the Lion 47. Michael Pittman somehow got through the line of scrimmage and picked up 6.
And that's just good push by the offensive line. In particular, Leonard Davis, who they bring, the big rookie, the 370-pounder, around. They pull him up into the hole, and Pittman just gets up in his shadow and pushes it.
Why not? You got a guy who's 370 pounds. That's a big shadow to get in.
No doubt. That's a good guy to hide behind and then make your cut.
Steve Bush, the tight end, now at fullback. They fake the handoff and get it to Bush. Steve Bush makes his first catch as a Cardinal. Ron Rice, though, collided helmets with him and is slow to get up.
Yeah, Rice hurt himself. He hit Bush so hard on that one. And that was a heck of a crack.
And remember, Ron Rice got fined $10,000 by the league for a helmet-to-helmet hit last week against Keyshawn.
Take a listen to this. Man. And Rice is still bringing it. I mean, that was a big hit, and Rice, he took the brunt of it, and he's down on the field.
Well, the Lions safety Ron Rice still down on the field, is yet to get up. Collided helmets with Steve Bush on that catch, and we haven't seen a whole lot of movement out of Rice just yet. You see him moving his arms there, though, so that's always a good sign.
Well, you always have to be careful when you get a head-to-head type collision and the man stays down. Now Rice rolled around a little bit after the hit, so he was moving. At least it appeared that he was moving fine, but you just got to be careful and check this out. I can speak from experience. My son TJ was playing football in the 8th grade this year and landed on his head, and we had to do the whole thing where you put him on the backboard and you put him in the ambulance and bring him to the hospital. So I know from firsthand experience this is a scary situation. You take all the precautions.
Yeah, you're bringing out the cart. We'll be back right after this. Well, they brought the stretcher out to try and administer to Ron Rice, the safety for the Detroit Lions. And Rice, the strong safety, we mentioned that last week. The NFL fined him for a hit he made on Keyshawn Johnson that he's appealing that looked clean, but they say this was a helmet-to-helmet shot.
Yeah, and I don't know that you see a helmet-to-helmet. It's hard to see, but compared to this one, this one's definitely a helmet-to-helmet shot by Ron Rice. And now the difference on the two, he launched himself against Keyshawn, which I think is part of the problem as well. But this one really wasn't a launch. It was just a come up and make a hit after a catch. It wasn't like, the running back was defenseless per se. He caught the ball and was running. So it's just an unfortunate hit from Ron Rice.
This is why the league, though, does everything they can to prevent helmet-to-helmet hits, because it's not always the guy that receives it. Sometimes it's the guy that dishes it out that gets injured. And, of course, the Lions fans have seen this way too often. Anytime you see it is too often. But, of course, with Mike Utley and Reggie Brown, injuries that ended their career, we hope this is nothing that serious. And as you said, when Rice first fell, he did roll around a little bit, but they've kept him pretty still since then.
Right, he did roll around and it seemed to be okay there. It looked like he was kind of just stunned a little bit. And then when he laid back down, we've seen him move his hands a little bit, and so those are good signs. But you have to take every precaution. Here's another look at it. And you're going to see, here's Ron Rice. He's going to come up, avoid Makovica. and he hits Bush, and that's right there, man. That's a kiss. That's head to head, helmet to helmet.
While we're waiting, let's check in with James Brown out in Los Angeles.
Hey, Kurt, show you what happened with Philadelphia and Dallas. Ryan Leaf, not too good a day here. He throws his second pick of the day. That was returned for a touchdown. This one by William Hampton, and Philadelphia goes on to spank 36-3. Take it back, Kurt Menefee and Ray Bentley.
All right, JB, and there you see Ron Rice leaving the field, getting a nice ovation from the crowd here in Arizona. Of course, obviously the crowd, and you see the look on the players of both teams. I mean, nobody likes to see this, and players always concerned. As a former player, you know whether it's your team or not when you see this happen.
Your heart just sinks when you see it happen to somebody, and you don't like to think about that. You know you're always at risk, and you're out there and you're putting it on the line, but to actually see it happen right then and there, the challenge now is for everybody to put that out of their mind and go back and play football, and that's a tough thing to do.
Well, back on the football field, Bush picked up 5 yards on the play, so it's a first down from the 36 for Arizona. Plummer. Overthrown and intercepted.
And that's Todd Light that picked that one off, and that's just a bad throw by Jake Plummer. He overshoots the receiver, and it's another Plummer play that we've seen too many of.
A situation where the Cardinals had been driving, but it ends up in an interception. Jake Plummer picked off by Todd Light. Todd Light's third interception of the season, the 10th pick thrown this year by Jake Plummer.
And Plummer has plenty of time. You're going to see on this side of the screen, he's got the time to throw, and this is going to be Boston, and he's going to curl it outside, and there's a lane. I mean, this ball should be able to get to David Boston. I mean, look at the passing lane he's got right through there. Instead, he throws it high and wide, and Light's just sitting back there. That's just a gift.
Plummer completed 7 straight passes before that. Lions take over at the 31-yard line. Charlie Batch going up top. He's got Burt Emanuel incomplete, being hounded by Pat Tillman. And Emanuel asking for the flag, not going to get one.
I think he lost the ball in the sun. I mean, when you're running down that way and you're looking back over your shoulder, that's when you see the sun. And here's Emanuel, and he's running into 3 deep coverage, and Tillman is just running to the spot. And you see him, he loses it initially, and then once he sees the football, it's too out of whack. He's not able to get underneath it, is Emanuel.
Well, today the 100th game of his career. So Emanuel, a veteran, has played with Atlanta and Tampa Bay, and was at New England earlier this year before being released. Cardinals showing blitz. Back to Corey Schlesinger, who makes the nice grab. And still on his feet. Oh, I bit my tongue on that one. It was so exciting. How about some excitement from James Brown out in Los Angeles?
Well, excitement on Chicago's part. Their first offensive touchdown against the Bears. Make that against the Bucs since 1998. Marty Booker hauls in a 28-yard strike from Jim Miller. Wow, 7-6. Chicago on top of the Bucs. Back to Kurt and Ray.
All right. The Bears can regain first place since the Packers lost this afternoon all by themselves, and they can win down in Tampa Bay.
And one of the big differences for the Bears is they can run the football now. Thomas is doing a great job.
After the 37-yard pickup, that's Ruben Drones.
Let's go back to that last play, and Corey Schlesinger again becoming a huge part of this Lions offense. And this is the one where it's an out and out. You're going to see Schlesinger's right here. He's going to sneak up and then run up along the sidelines. And this is a great throw by Charlie Batch to get it to Corey Schlesinger. You see a little outlook, and now he's turning it up the field, and Schlesinger extends the arms, makes a great catch. Look at that. Outruns McKinnon, and then gets a little something, a little run after the catch as well.
Well, the longest catch of his career, 37 yards. Play action. Batch up top. He's got Emanuel. Penalty marker on the play, and Emanuel made the catch at the 2.
And that's the exact pass that Charlie Batch missed last week. This time he got it in there. Let's see what the flag is.
Illegal contact against Arizona.
Illegal contact, 24 on the defense before the pass was in the air. That penalty is declined. Result of the play is a completion. First down.
That's the second time Tom Knight has been guilty of a penalty. And there it is, the illegal chuck. It's past 5 yards. And he's playing the cover, too, so he's just got to drift back. But the safety's got to get over there and help make the play. And Tillman does, but he's just a split second late. Give Charlie Batch credit for getting the ball in there.
Well, they take the 29-yard completion, so it's first and goal from the 2. Ruben Throne's going to get nowhere. Sekou Sanyika, the first guy to stop him.
And Tom Knight coming back. He's missed the last 3 games with the hamstring injury. And now he comes back, and there's obviously a little rust on Tom Knight. And I'll tell you one thing, if you don't trust your body and your ability to run, then you're going to commit penalties. You're going to start using your hands a little bit more, and that's what he's done twice. He's been caught, and they got to think about whether or not they're going to keep him out there.
Lamont Warren and Corey Schlesinger in the backfield on second and goal. That's rolling out wide open in the end zone. Touchdown, Detroit Lions. David Sloan with the grab.
And that's just a blown coverage by the Arizona Cardinals. The play action froze the linebacker. Sloan snuck out. He's just wide open in the end zone. Good job by Detroit. And I believe they set that up with the success they had running on the goal line in the previous series when Schlesinger pounded it in. Now you come back, you fake that run, and you hit him on the play action, and it's working well for Detroit.
Jason Hansen for the extra point. And the Lions take a 14-7 lead midway through the second quarter. Charlie Batch and David Sloan hooking up for the go-ahead score. David Sloan's third touchdown catch of the year put the Lions ahead 14-7, 2 yards away from Charlie Batch. And Batch, I'll tell you what, since being benched early in the season and coming back, has really played well for the Lions.
Well, especially on the road. His rating is over 100 in the last 2 games on the road, and he's tearing it up here again today.
That is 10th touchdown pass versus 5 interceptions in 5 games as a starter since being benched. Marte Jenkins from his end zone. Brock Olivo and Scott Kolakowski with the stop after a 27-yard return.
A couple of cousins on that play.
Yeah.
Let's go back to that touchdown. Here's Ronald McKinnon, and here is David Sloan. And in this kind of action, McKinnon has to cover Sloan, but first he has to stop the run. And what he does, he gets caught up in the run fake, never reacts to the pass. And so here's McKinnon, here's Sloan, and it's an easy throw for Charlie Batch. And Todd Light, who set that whole drive up with the interception, likes it.
Well, the Cardinals had a nice drive going before the interception to Light. Sloan and the Lions making it pay, 69 yards after the turnover. David Boston, his first catch of the day. Gain of 22.
Boston uses his body so well. You see him just get up there and get in front of Light and take that thing away. And, you know, it's about time they started to go to Boston, because I think he is one of the most talented guys in this league. He's been on fire, and they need to make him a big part of this offense and continue to force the ball to him.
Are you saying please come to Boston?
Yeah, sing a bar for me, right?
What was that? Was that Brett?
I'm not sure.
Some bad 70s group.
One-hit wonder.
First down at the 47. Michael Pittman. He tripped up. Pick up about 5 yards on the play. Barrett Green with the tackle.
Robert Porcher for the Detroit Lions working on Anthony Clement. And this is a matchup we want to look at throughout the day. And Clement gets the better of that one, but I'm telling you, Porcher, he played against Clement a couple years ago out here and didn't like the way he played. He said, I'm going to have a better game today. I'm going to have to use him, make him move his feet a little bit more so I can have some success.
Second and 5. Pittman again. This time going to be stopped after a pickup of 2 yards. Chris Claiborne on the tackle.
The Cardinals just trying to hammer it out a little bit in this part of the field. And, you know, they got a little breathing room with the pass to Boston. Now they go to the ground a couple of times, and that's an important part of any offense to me, is being able to control the line of scrimmage and get your linemen going forward a little bit. Get that running game going. And when you start getting that feeling, everything else clicks in place for you.
Arizona perfect so far on third down conversions. They need to get it to the 43 this time. Pittman stopped in the backfield. Robert Porcher. Gonna have none of that.
Well, what they tried to do was trap Porcher. And he beats the trap up inside. You're going to see Pete Kendall come around. He's going to try and trap Robert Porcher. It's going to be a down block from Clement. And they totally missed Porcher. You see, Kendall didn't even see him. And Porcher comes through wide open and introduces himself to Pittman.
After what he said was a rough season last year, bouncing back this year. Chad Stanley punts it down to the 5-yard line. David Barrett going to catch it there. 43 yards on the punt for Stanley. Well, don't forget, next week on Fox NFL Sunday, everything starts with JB, Terry, Howie, and Chris in the pregame show. The 49ers and Colts going at it. Or you can catch the Saints and Patriots. Or maybe these Cardinals and Chargers. That's all next week. The pregame show beginning at noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific, right here on Fox. And that's the Sunday game. Of course, the next time we see you on Fox, Thanksgiving Day, when it's the Packers at the Detroit Lions.
Break out the turducken.
Yeah, that's an annual tradition. From their own 5-yard line. Corey Schlesinger. No gain on the play, maybe even a yard loss. Fred Wakefield with the tackle.
And Wakefield made the tackle, but Russell Davis made the play. He had great penetration up front, and that forced Schlesinger to have to break the thing outside a little bit. You're going to get great penetration right here, and that's going to force Schlesinger to take the thing a little wider than he wanted to. Right into the arms of the waiting Wakefield.
And the crowd getting into it. Play action. Bat from the end zone. Through the hands of David Sloan, incomplete.
Boy, he had Johnny Morton wide open in the middle of the field. Did Charlie Batch. He just didn't have the time to look back across the field, but Morton was wide open right in the middle. Now this is a tough situation for the Lions. Brings up a 3rd down and 10 from their own 5, and they just haven't gotten the job done in 3rd and long so far this season. You just see the total yard battle. Pretty even.
They need the 25. Pardon me, the 15. Lamont Warren out to the 10-yard line, says, hey, 10 yards is tough enough for us to get. Don't force it to get 20. He's going to be stopped by Ronaldo Hill, 5 yards short of the 1st down.
And that's not a bad decision by Charlie Batch. The receivers down the field were covered. He didn't want to force it in and create a turnover in this area of the field. Dump it off, and maybe your running back can get the extra yards for the 1st down. But at the very least, you got a little room, punt it, and get out of this trouble.
John Jett back to punt. Arnold Jackson, the deep man for Arizona. That backs him way up, all the way to the 30-yard line. That kick about 75 yards in the air
That was a great
for
kick.
John Jett. Officially give him 62 yards on the punt. Well, the big right guard, Leonard Davis, the 2nd overall pick out of the University of Texas behind Michael Vick, of course, 1st rounder. But a Davis in the Cardinal uniform, nothing new. That's his brother, Charlie Davis, who played here, well, I should say the St. Louis Cardinals back in the day, and also played with Mean Joe Green and the Pittsburgh Steelers.
And also a guy that goes way back with Dave McGinnis. McGinnis said, hey, this Charlie Davis was a guy that he'd sell you a suitcase full of something.
They were teammates at TCU back in college. Jake Plummer completes the pass to Joel Makovicka. Makovicka gets it out to the 50-yard line.
Davis, comes from a football family, and you go back to the Steelers back in '74, that first Super Bowl team, and Charlie Davis and Joe Green were teammates back then. And I believe this guy right here
Who's that?
That's Terry Bradshaw.
Oh,
Back
he
when
really did play, huh?
Yeah, I guess so.
Michael Pittman fights out for the first down. And the reason that you got a guy like Leonard Davis, whose brother Charlie Davis played football in the NFL 25 years ago, is because Davis is one of 22 children. They got an offense and a defense in the backyard.
Yeah, it's amazing. You know, it's almost like the Brady Bunch story where the lady met the fellow and they each had a bunch of kids together, and the only child they really had together was Leonard Davis. The rest of them are all half brothers for Leonard, half brothers and sisters.
Plummer working his magic, escapes and keeps it on the run. Finally going to step out of bounds right at the 42-yard line. A scrambling run of 5 yards by Jake Plummer takes us to the 2-minute warning. It's been a good one so far. 14-7 Lions. 1:52 left to go in the first half here in the desert. Lions looking for their first victory of the season, leading at 14-7, and all day long they've been bringing the heat to Jake Plummer.
They really have, and they've gotten it with blitzes and with just the front four bringing the heat. And that's on 11 attempts. Plummer's been harassed just about every time he's dropped back, and you see the one interception that he threw. That time he didn't get harassed. He had plenty of time. He just made a bad throw.
You mentioned the 11 attempts. Plummer 9 of 11 passing. Missed his first one, hit 7 in a row, threw the interception, is now 2 for 2. Cardinals working with 2 timeouts and 1:52 on the clock. Lions all 3 of theirs. 2nd and 5 from the 42. Plummer working out of the shotgun. Quick pass over the middle. Frank Sanders. He's wrapped up by Robert Bailey. Good enough for 7 yards and a first down, though.
And Sanders is pumped up, and Plummer does a nice job again of throwing behind the blitz. The Lions brought the blitz off of that side, and what that does is that means the safety's got to cover Frank Sanders, and he's not able to get there in time to break the pass up.
Plummer. Same spot, but Michael Pittman can't drag this one in.
And Pittman might have heard footsteps from his old teammate Tommy Bennett coming up. Bennett in there now because of the injury to Ron Rice, whom they took him to the hospital, by the way, and we're going to wait and get a report on that. But Bennett's in the game for that reason, and he's just playing a little zone defense. And watch Bennett come up late. Here he is, and I think Pittman was more concerned with Bennett than he was with the football.
Bennett, of course, spent 5 years here with the Arizona Cardinals. Low snap, but Plummer picks it up. Marte Jenkins was open, as was Frank Sanders, but Plummer couldn't hit either.
And the Lions did just a 3-man rush. Dropped James Hall out of there in coverage. Here's Hall right here. And he's just going to drop out and watch him. He's going to pick up the tight end and take that option away from Plummer right there. I think that's where he wanted to go. And Hall does a nice job of taking that away, so Plummer has to throw it away.
But they had a couple of guys he couldn't connect with. Forces them into a 3rd and long. They need the 25-yard line for the first down. 5 receivers out. That's underneath to David Boston, and Boston gets the first down, keeps the drive going. Gain of 14 on the play.
Jake is hurt.
And Plummer got hit late, and there's a flag down.
Right at the spot where Plummer is down. And you saw the penalty going against the Lions.
It's Barrett Green, I think, that was in there with the pressure.
Personal foul, roughing the quarterback, lifting and driving the quarterback into the ground. Half the distance to the goal, tapped on at the end of the completion. First down.
Well, they didn't give us the number. We'll see if we can see
it's
on the
Barrett
replay.
Green. He's right here, and he's going to come free on the blitz. But watch him. He's going to hit Jake Plummer. There's no problem here, but where they get him is when they drive him into the ground. They're not going to let you do that to quarterbacks. They're going to protect him. And Barrett Green is guilty of roughing the passer, no question about it.
So they get 14 yards on the pass to Boston. Another 10 on the penalty. Roughing the passer by Barrett Green. Puts the Cardinals at the 11-yard line. Pump fake and sacked. Robert Porcher. Sack number 8 on the year for Porcher.
Porcher just makes a quick inside move, and he is on Plummer before Plummer can do anything. Here he is. He's just going to shoot off the line of scrimmage and go inside, and he just beats the block of the tight end Bush. I don't know. Bush didn't understand what he had to do.
Timeout, Arizona.
The Cardinals get a timeout on that, but Bush didn't understand maybe the speed and the quickness with which Robert Porcher is going to come, because he took that inside path and Bush couldn't even get an arm out there.
But don't forget, we're 59 seconds away from the Visa halftime report. JB, Terry, Howie, and Chris will have scores and highlights from around the league. And the Fox Sports Ticker will keep you updated with up-to-the-second stats on all the late games. And, of course, coming up in the Visa halftime report.
Dave Brown's out there warming up a little bit. I don't know that Plummer's not going to go back in. There's no indication of that. But, boy, he did take a shot when he got planted into the ground by Green. He was a little slow getting up.
Well, that and then the sack by Porcher, back-to-back hard hits on him. And that may be as much a reason for the timeout as anything else.
Yeah, you're getting the cumulative effect here in the middle rounds. Here's the shot that he took again, and bam. I mean, that's 2 in a row now where Plummer gets hit by an unimpeded defender.
Well, Porcher, once again, felt that he really didn't play well last season, so his goal was to come back and have another double-digit sack year. He's been to the Pro Bowl 2 of the last 4 years, and that's sack number 8 on the season. Backs the Cardinals up to the 16. Plummer completes it this time. Marte Jenkins, pardon me. That's Michael Pittman with the catch. Todd Light on the tackle.
And that play they just ran is a fundamental play of the West Coast offense, where you run 3 out to the strong side. You're going to run 1 man vertical into the corner. You run the other man vertical and then inside, and then you sneak the back out, and he's got an option inside or outside, and that's where they hit Pittman.
Well, they can still get the first down at the 1-yard line. Plummer, all kinds of time. David Foster, a couple of stiff arms, fights his way into the end zone. Touchdown, Arizona Cardinals.
That guy is strong.
We talked in the open about his strength at 237 pounds. There's a prime example.
When Boston's just running a shallow underneath route, you're going to see him. He's going to come from this side. He's going to kind of sit there. Here he is, and now he keeps going. Now you got 3 lines that have a shot at him. 1, 2, and 3. And it almost looked effortless by David Boston. I mean, Barrett Green came by and swatted him. Boston, he acted like it was a fly or something.
Bill Gramatica gets the extra point. Now we understand why you were saying, please come to Boston.
Well, it paid off for him here. And David Boston, with the great strength, scores the touchdown. And that's a nice drive by the Arizona Cardinals. And give Jake Plummer some credit, too, because he got rattled a couple good times on that drive, but he stays in there, and he's going to make a nice throw and also a good decision. See, he's got the time, pump fakes, and now, all right, I'm just going to drop it off to Boston here. And this is Barrett Green, who has a hard time staying up with Boston. And now just a bad angle out there. And Bailey's got to go low. You can't tackle a big, strong man like David Boston up high and expect to be successful. And that's Robert Bailey. He's got to shoot low and just make the sure tackle. Because Bennett misses him first. Bailey goes high, nothing there, and then Barrett Green just bounces off.
Well, Plummer took the hard hits on back-to-back plays. That'll clear the cobwebs. 13 yards on the touchdown pass. Jake Plummer to David Boston completes a 10-play drive and ties the game at 14.
And Plummer was like Rocky Balboa in that drive, you know. he wasn't getting mad. He was getting ready to go.
He's got a little Dick Butkus look on the sideline there. A little blood coming out of the face. You don't see many quarterbacks like that.
He got a little gash there on the chin.
Although I think Peyton Manning might disagree with me after last week. You see a couple of quarterbacks like that, but like Manning, Plummer hanging in there and complete the touchdown pass.
Yeah, Plummer's skinny enough. You don't want to have him eating out of a straw.
Larry Foster. Coming up on the Visa halftime report, The guys in the studio, JB, Terry, Howie, and Chris, with all the scores and highlights from around the NFL. And don't forget that Fox Sports ticker, keeping you up to date with the latest scores. That's all on the Visa halftime report, which is 10 ticks of the clock away.
Well, they were going after Chris Collinsworth pretty good today. I felt for him, you know. Both.
They sounded like Bill Parcells and Terry Glenn. Remember when he called Glenn Shee his last year in New England?
Yeah.
That's what Terry Bradshaw was doing to my man Chris Collinsworth.
Being very rough on Bradshaw. And here he is again. Terry Bradshaw, 1974. And
well, he's got hair. You know, I don't want to say anything, but I mean, the way he's crossing those legs.
Well, you know, he used to be a good-looking guy.
Except on those album covers. I've seen that. I don't know about that. From the 20, Charlie Batch. That's Lamont Warren going to pick up just 2 yards, and they're going to go into halftime. Well, it's been a nice first half. Each team put together a couple of long drives and got touchdowns. And we are tied here at 14 at the half in Arizona. Fox NFL Sunday will continue after these messages and a word from your local Fox station.
The Visa Halftime Report is brought to you by Visa. It's everywhere NFL fans want to be.
Welcome those of you watching Detroit, Arizona to the Visa halftime. The Lions desperately seeking their first victory of the season right now, all knotted with the Cardinals at 14, TB.
All right, Warren Sapp says, let's get it on. Get it on with these Bears. Brad Johnson says, all right, I'll show you how. Out of the eye, play action says that guns this baby. 22 yards down, deep sideline route to Keyshawn Johnson. That leads to a field goal. Tampa Bay 3-0. Then after going 19 quarters without scoring against these Bucks, you got it. Miller to Booker, 28-yard touchdown, 7-6. Chicago over the Tampa Bay Bucks. Now it's 9-7, Tampa Bay over Chicago.
Meanwhile, at Mile High,
Rod Smith, all right, roll left, turn around, gun it back right. Rod Smith, this is third and goal, 1-yard touchdown reception. Denver 10-0 over the Redskins.
all right, Tim Brown and Jerry Rice each with a touchdown in the first half. Oakland on top of the Chargers by 7. The Jaguars held to just 9 rushing yards in the first half. Pittsburgh on top by 2 field goals. Boy, look at what Philadelphia did to the Cowboys. Philadelphia has now scored 76 points in 2 games against the Cowboys. Falcons upsetting the Packers. Boy, that's good news for Tampa Bay if they can win today. 49ers 3-1 now this season in overtime. The Colts losing to the Saints. Boy, what a heartbreaker too, because Manning looked like he pulled off a great play, but did not. Jets 8 straight over the Dolphins.
Seahawks 23-20. Jimmy Kimmel picked this Buffalo Bills team to be his upset pick. Sorry, Jimmy, you lose. Browns 27-17. Cleveland Brown fans are ecstatic. They sweep the defending world champion Baltimore Ravens. Titans 20-7. Titans all of a sudden now, guys, are playing pretty good football.
Arizona and Detroit.
You know, Detroit has lost, I think, 5 games by 5 points or less. And, you know, going in at halftime when Arizona puts that last score in, you have to wonder what's going through the heads of the Detroit Lions players. Here we go again. A heartbreaker. They seem to have captured the momentum in the game, looked like they were in control of the game, and then they give up the touchdown before the half. Momentum swing back to Arizona.
In Cincinnati, we know all about that. Here we go again, feeling we've sort of experienced that.
I didn't bring that up.
No, I'm just sort of like to throw that stuff out there. I keep waiting, though, for this Arizona offensive line to take over one football game this year. They're the biggest in the NFL. They're the highest paid in the NFL.
They're the youngest.
And Michael Pittman can run the football. At some point, and Detroit's without Stephen Boyd, their middle linebacker. At some point, they have to begin to step up and play what they're getting.
Leonard Davis has played well.
Hey, did you hear the play-by-play guy from Fox, Kurt Menefee, defends you in the comments, disparaging comments?
What did he call?
Well, see, what you don't understand, though, guys, is that he is afraid of Howie. So his only choice is to come after me.
So
and
what's
so that
wrong with that
explains
thinking?
all that thing.
For those
That's
that
the reason
think-
I get
for
paid
those-
the big bucks around here, just so he can have
some
somebody.
of
Those of you that
will
think
go
I'm very
to
smart, I
local
just
news.
answered that.
Others will come back to hear the blonde bomber.
All about.
Back in Tempe, Arizona, where we've actually had a very good football game here in the first half. Arizona and Detroit all knotted at 14 apiece at the break. Kurt Menefee along with Ray Bentley. DJ Johnson's on the sideline. And first of all, your general perspective of this game. You come in, and these are 2 teams desperate for a win, and both played like in the first half.
I think you said it's a well-played football game so far. I think you've seen great execution on offense, in particular, both quarterbacks doing very well on third downs, and it's just been a very good played first half. I'm looking forward to the second half. And, you know, the Detroit Lions, let's take a look at them and some of their success on offense. You got Johnny Morton here catching one outside and a nice gain and a nice read by Charlie Batch. Now here's Batch going again, this one to Bert Emanuel. Now they hand the ball up the middle. Lamont Warren with a nice run. And then this is Corey Schlesinger. He gets pay dirt early on, and then here's the second touchdown. David Sloan catching the play-action pass from Charlie Batch. And this offense has really hit stride. I think they picked it up from where they left off last week against Tampa Bay in the second half, and they've rolled pretty good here in this first half. No 3-and-outs.
Exactly. Charlie Batch has done an excellent job of spreading it around to the wide receivers, the tight ends, the running backs, everybody getting involved. Similar story for Arizona, except, as always, it always falls on the shoulder of Jake Plummer, who played like Jake in the first half. Got down early, got to bounce back.
Yeah, he's been back and forth a little bit. Early on, he got a lot of pressure put on him. Here he is getting sacked, and then this one a little pressure late, but just a bad high throw, and that one's intercepted by Light. Then he took a couple of lumps. He gets hit there. The first one by Green, the second one by Forshea. How does he answer? Comes back and throws his touchdown pass to David Boston. So, you know, Jake Plummer answered it after taking all those hits, and both quarterbacks, I think, have done outstanding here in the first half.
Well, you see the numbers, very similar in their completion percentage and the yards. The touchdown, Plummer does have the one interception, which led to that second touchdown by the Detroit Lions. But you talk about similarities. Check them out on third down. Both these quarterbacks perfect. 5 for 5 for Batch, 4 for 4 for Plummer.
Incredible, and that's where both of these teams struggled coming in. Arizona was making just 1 out of 3 third down conversions. Detroit, they were worse than that. They were at 31%. So for these guys to perform on third down, I think that's why you've seen sustained drives, and that's why you've seen good production on offense.
The Cardinals come out with a 95-yard scoring drive. You responded with 2 magnificent scoring drives of your own. Then late in the half.
So both of them ready to go here in the second half. Charlie Batch and Jake Plummer. And Plummer will get the first shot as the Cardinals will receive to start this second half.
Larry Foster. You see him in on special teams. And, of course, Arizona will receive first. But we do want to mention that Desmond Howard, who's been a weapon so much for the Lions on special teams this year, hurt himself on the opening kickoff and is out for the rest of the game. Looks like they said his return doubtful. He has not been back in since. Taking a look at the halftime stats.
Yeah, it's really even. I mean, all these numbers are very even across the board. Look at the pass yards are within 4 of each other. Total yards within 19, and both teams doing well on third down conversions.
Arizona receives to start the second half. Marte Jenkins at the 10. Nice return of 29 yards all the way out to the 39. During the break, our DJ Johnson had a chance to talk to the Cardinals head coach, Dave McGinnis.
Coach, coming into this game, we knew both of you guys had plenty of talent, but sometimes you shoot yourselves in the foot. After this half, what'd you go in and tell your team?
Well, I mean, we've taken some pretty good shots from them as far as coming back from the turnover. We've got it back to 14. Our offense has been moving the ball. We're going to need to take this first kickoff and get down there and do something with it. Then we've got to be able to cover them. They're throwing the ball all over the lot on us. We got to be able to cover them, DJ.
Okay, thanks a lot, Coach. All right, back up to you guys.
All right, DJ. Well, on the return, Scott Kowalkowski, the special teams ace for the Lions for so many years, slow to get up.
Colo's been nursing a knee where he ruptured a bursa sac against the Minnesota Vikings, but I don't think that's the case here. I think he just got the cobwebs knocked a little bit. And there you see it late in that fray, Colo got hit on top of the head, and I think that's what it was. He just got a little sense knocked out of him. Right here, you're going to see he gets kneed right in the head. And so I tell you, I've been kneed in the head. That helmet will protect you, but only to a certain extent. You're probably thinking, yeah, you've been kneed in the head quite a few times.
That explains a lot.
Thank you very much.
Cardinals begin right at the 40-yard line. Michael Pittman in the backfield. Gets the carry. Met by Barrett Green after a pickup of a yard, maybe 2.
That's a great job of patience from Barrett Green. He was a backside linebacker on that play. Stayed home and let everything just flow back into him, and then made a solid hit.
Green, a guy who's brought some speed to this Lion defense. starting in place of Stephen Boyd, who went out with a back injury for the last 5 games.
And that, of course, moved Claiborne into the middle,
right
where he plays.
Play action. Steve Bush, and Bush gets the first down. We send it down to the sidelines. DJ Johnson for some injury updates.
Hey, guys, Ron Rice was taken off the field earlier, and it was a very, very scary moment. I had a chance to walk along Ron as he was being taken in. He was conscious, talking to his trainers, moving both his arms and his legs. They took him in for x-rays. The x-rays were negative, which is good. He's been taken to a local hospital for a precautionary MRI. And also, Thomas Burke is still questionable, but unlikely. Back up to you.
All right, thanks a lot for the updates, DJ. Michael Pittman with a strong run of about 10 yards.
Pittman hit the hole so quick and so hard that he broke arm tackles at the line of scrimmage, and then that's running right at the rookie Barrett Green, which I think their second-year man Barrett Green, but that's what you need to do with Green's speed. Run right at him. Don't run away from him where he can use the speed to catch you. Run right at him and overpower him.
Well, that's what you get with Michael Pittman in there instead of the first-round pick from last year, Thomas Jones, a guy who runs hard, sometimes too hard. He's already given himself 2 concussions this year and 3 in his last 7 games played, but the effort is what they like.
Right, you can't tell him don't run so hard.
Gets the carry again on first down, stopped. Chris Claiborne catches him right at the line of scrimmage, maybe picked up a yard on the play.
Claiborne does a nice job of just staying inside out. Here's Claiborne. He's going to step up and make this play. This is what a middle linebacker should do. So you don't commit early. Now you see it and step right into the hole and meet the running back. That's perfection by Claiborne, who was an outside linebacker until Boyd got hurt, and they moved him back in there, and he likes that spot. He'd just soon be in the middle.
I think he plays better as a middle linebacker, which is what he did at USC. Jake Plummer all kinds of time, gets it out to Michael Pittman, who can't make the catch.
And you see Alan Aldridge shaking his head. Nobody was fooled by that play action, and Aldridge had the coverage on Pittman, and he didn't bite on the play action, so he had, again, good coverage, and Plummer really had to essentially throw that away.
You see how they've been on third downs today. On 3rd and 7 or more, 3 for 3. It's a 3rd and 9 situation. They've got to get it to the 28 for the first down. Plummer escapes again. Gets it downfield. Pass intended for Marte Jenkins, but broken up nicely by Kurt Schultz.
And Plummer had something on the front side, but he just got scrambled out. He had to scramble because of the pressure from Detroit. But you get the stack route right here where you got 3 out in the same spot. And I think we're open. I think Sanders was open, but he wasn't able to get it to him because of the pressure. And now he's got to throw it away again and throw it out of bounds. So the Cardinals had the punt.
Chad Stanley set the punt to Larry Foster. Goes over his head. Down inside the 1, but was he on the goal line?
He was.
Yeah, he kind of straddled it a little bit. 37 yards on the punt. David Barrett couldn't keep it this side of the goal line, so it'll be a touchback. Lions will begin at the 20, their first possession of the second half in a 14-14 ball game.
Fox NFL Sunday is brought to you by Pontiac. What would you do with some Pontiac excitement?
Well, the rush yards for the Detroit Lions, something that they've kind of gotten used to, only 22 in the first half. They've had 62 or fewer in the last 4 games without James Stewart. You see, since the merger, no team's gone 5 straight with 62 or less. Nice catch there by Lamont Warren.
Well, that lack of running game has yet to hurt Detroit, but I'm telling you, if you don't get it going at some point, it will hurt you in this ballgame. It'll come back to haunt them because now Arizona, they aren't allowing the run. You gear up and you play the pass, and you have a better chance of taking that away.
Pickup of 3 on the catch by Warren. End around. Larry Foster on the reverse. And Arizona not fooled by that. He's only going to get 3 yards. Raynoch Thompson with the tackle.
And Baron Tanner was the guy who was in the backfield and got the first hand. And here's Tanner. You're going to see him kind of flop around. But here comes the reverse. We're going to take it around this way. You got both linemen pulling over there to try and sell the thing. But Tanner didn't buy it. You saw he was way outside over there already. And he makes a nice play. See, there's Tanner right over here. Comes back and actually saves the day for the Cardinals, because if Tanner didn't force that thing back inside, Detroit had a little room out there.
On 3rd down, Lions need the 30. Bats forced to roll out and still completes it to Johnny Morton. Morton fights his way for a gain of 8 and a Detroit first down.
Nice job of Detroit picking up the Cardinal blitz. They stopped them initially, stopped the charge. Charlie Batch rolls out and finds Morton, and they convert this 3rd down again. Here comes the blitz. You got Woods coming here. You're going to see Tillman right here. He's coming inside, and Batch avoids Bell, squeezes himself outside, and gets it to an alert Johnny Morton. That's just a nice job by Batch, making something happen.
Charlie Batch 6 for 6 on 3rd down passing today. Bert Emanuel, another first down after the 12-yard pickup.
Emanuel's such a veteran receiver. He goes there. He saw the zone, so he set up right there in that soft spot. And Charlie Batch, who has been in a rhythm all day long and didn't lose it at halftime, comes out and finds his man sitting right in that front side zone.
Well, Marty Morningweg has told us that Charlie Batch has really picked up this West Coast offense a lot better than even they expected. It's just every now and then, after making several good plays, something bad happens to him. That pass going to be incomplete, intended for Johnny Morton. Tom Knight hanging all over it.
I don't know why Charlie Batch didn't throw the slant to Johnny Morton. I mean, Morton had plenty of separation, and I just don't understand why he didn't try and slide it in front of Tom Knight. You're going to see right here is Morton. He's going to come inside. He's going to run the slant. Watch the room that he has. I mean, he's wide open right there. He's still open, and Batch wasn't able to get the ball to him until late as he continued across the way, and by then, Knight had time to close that distance.
Lamont Warren now in at running back. The pitch to him. Fights his way out across the 45-yard line for a gain of 7. Ronald McKinnon with the tackle.
And that's just a nice job again by the Lions offensive line. They're going to take it outside. Here's Jeff Backus. Watch him get the hook block. And that's the key. He gets it outside. See, now he's got his body between the hole and the running back. And I mean, that's just good footwork by the rookie Backus and keeping Fatafehi inside, creating a hole.
Their first-round pick from Michigan. Started all 4 years there, lost a total of 8 games. He's 0-8 as a pro. It's been a tough season for him. Batch on the rollout, completes it for the first down to Johnny Morton. All the way down to the 37-yard line, give him 8 more.
Backus and company did another nice job of protecting against the blitz. But you see, look at this, the University of Michigan right here. They got something to be proud of this year. We got 4 starters on opening day come from the University of Michigan into the NFL.
Well, those are all offensive linemen. I mean, Michigan's been known, you know, you go back to Jumbo Elliott and John Jansen with the Redskins.
Dan Deerdorf was a Michigan man.
Lamont Warren in a short pickup of 2 yards. It's funny how certain schools are known for certain things, isn't it?
And that's the University of Michigan. Here's Backus right here. They're going to run right up his Backus again. And watch him block Wakefield. He gets the shoulders turned. I mean, Wakefield's able to spin. They're a little holding right there. But they didn't call that. No takedown points on that one. But Backus, what he does, I think he's got a good punch immediately. He gets his man turned, and that's half the battle.
Batch going up for Johnny Morton. Overthrown, but there's the flag. Corey Chavis grabbed him right on that right arm as he went to reach for the football.
And Chavis panicked. I don't think he had to do that, but he didn't pick up the football. And that's the problem when you're playing corner and you're out on that island. The key is what's your timing as far as looking for the football to see what you have.
Pass interference, 25, defense, First down is now found.
The Cardinals blitz again. That means one-on-one coverage out on the perimeter. And that's a nice shake move by Johnny Morton, creating the separation. And that became the problem for Chavis. The separation was too great that he couldn't turn his head and look back because he had to make up that distance. And then at the end, he kind of just panicked, stuck the hand out, grabbed Morton, and that's your flag.
That's going to be a 30-yard penalty. Gives the Lions a first and goal from the 3-yard line. Lamont Warren again. Tries to bounce it outside and does. Gets into the end zone for the touchdown.
Give Corey Schlesinger the assist on this one. He came out here and watch him. Schlesinger's in front. He's going to knock the perimeter right down. Bam, right there. Look at that block. That's Raynoch Thompson. Raynoch got knocked on that one, and that gave Warren enough of room, enough time to stretch it out and get inside that pylon in the corner of the end zone.
Second rushing touchdown of the season for Warren, who played that entire series. Not Reuben Drones, who started the game. Jason Hanson on for the extra point. So maybe that's what it takes to get the rushing game going. 9 plays, 80 yards. Lamont Warren capped it off with a 3-yard touchdown run, 21-14.
You want to know how Lamont Warren had time to get in the end zone? Check out Corey Schlesinger in the block he puts on Raynoch Thompson right here. That's a flat-out pancake. I mean, you don't get any better than that. And what that is, that allows Warren the time to bounce it outside and get that pylon, get it inside there. But what a huge block by Corey Schlesinger to spring Warren for that touchdown.
Don't forget the big 30-yard pass interference penalty on Corey Chavis, which set him up at first and goal from the 3. Marte Jenkins back to take this kick. And he's just going to stay there in the end zone. The Lions own a lead late in the game. Could it be the week? Kurt Menefee, Ray Bentley, and DJ Johnson with you in Arizona, where so many of the Detroit players, Ray, told us how Marty Mornhinweg has really kept this thing together despite the 0-8 start and kept everything positive around the team.
He really has, and you got to give him credit because that's a difficult thing to do when you're looking at 0-8 and everybody's asking you what's wrong, when you're going to win one, what's going on. But to keep the enthusiasm and to keep your focus, you got to give the guy a lot of credit.
Cardinals begin from the 20-yard line. Quick pass to David Boston. Good enough for an 11-yard gain and a first down. Todd Light on the tackle. But Mornhinweg, you know, he's not alone in this rough start. His first season as a head coach in the National Football League. Starting off 0-8, but, you know, throughout history, there have been a lot of coaches who turned out to be good coaches who started off with bad seasons.
Well, Super Bowl coaches is what it is.
And all those guys won Super Bowls with the very teams they started off with.
And that's a heck of a list to be. I don't know that that means Marty's going to win a Super Bowl. But
we're not predicting that, but
it's not a bad thing to shoot for. And you know, it also goes to show you that it takes a little time. You know, you got to work your way into things.
Thomas Jones with a 1-yard run there. But you see what happens is, you know, people forget installing a new offense, a new defense is not just, well, you got the same players you had on the 9-17. It should work out. It doesn't always work that way immediately.
No, it doesn't. And you've got to put your own stamp on the team, and you got to keep them. You got to get them believing. I mean, a win would be so vital to his program right now.
Plummer working the shotgun. He's got the time and he scrambles. Going up top. Frank Sanders wide open. Being chased by Tommy Bennett, but he won't catch him. Touchdown, Arizona Cardinals. "68 yards on the pass play to Frank Sanders.
And that's just a huge mistake by Tommy Bennett of letting Sanders go. Now you're going to see the blitz come from the Lions. It's an all-out blitz, and the Cardinals do a great job of picking it up. And now Plummer, this is what he does best, in my opinion, is make lemonade when he's got lemons. And that's what he does. I mean, he's scrambling around, the pressure's on him, and he lets that thing fly, finds Frank Sanders, who got behind Bennett, and there it goes, touchdown, and the Cardinals are right back in it.
That's the longest play from scrimmage for the Cardinals all season long. You see Frank Sanders limping. He tweaked a hamstring in practice on Friday. Didn't show the effects of it during the 68-yard pass play, but is afterwards. as Bill Gramatica gets the extra point to tie us at 21. Jake Plummer and the Cardinals get back in it. It's 21 all.
Fox NFL Sunday is brought to you by Southwest Airlines, proud sponsor of the NFL and official airline of Super Bowl 36. By DirecTV, the #1 satellite entertainment provider. By Original Coors, nothing beats an original. And by the Intel Pentium 4 processor, the center of your digital world.
Frank Sanders, 127 yards receiving after the 68-yard touchdown catch, puts him over the 100-yard mark for the first time since the last game of the '99 season. And this is the 5th straight game that the Cardinals have had a 100-yard receiver. The first 4 being, of course, David Boston. Short kick taken by Larry Foster right at the 10-yard line.
Let's go back to that touchdown. The Lions are going to blitz on this one. You're going to see Aldridge right here. He gets toppled, and that opens up the middle area, and that's where Plummer's going to end up because there's a nice discipline by the Lions ends, forcing him back inside the pocket. But now he's got a room to throw in there, and Jake does a great job of getting his eyes downfield and finding Sanders, who gets behind Bennett, and there it is. Now it's a foot race, and Sanders, he pulled up lame at the end of that thing. You see him hopping there. That's that hamstring, the right hamstring that he was nursing during the week. Actually missed the practice on Friday because of it.
And Bennett missed 3 games with a bad hamstring, so that was a chase of 2 guys with blown tires. Look at Charlie Batch going over the middle of the field for Johnny Martin.
What a catch.
Pulled it in with one hand, and no one touched him. Johnny Martin finally brought down by Corey Chavis at the 1-yard line.
Woo, how about Johnny Martin?
76 yards on the pass play. That's an answer.
That's a great play as I've seen this year. Johnny Morton, the ball was clearly overthrown. I mean, he didn't have a chance, and he lays out, gets it with the one hand, brings it in. Here he is. Here's Morton. And he's just running a post. He's just going downtown. He splits the 2 defenders. It's a cover 2. What a grab. And now he's not touched. You see Lassiter there. Kwame Lassiter never touched him. So now they get back up, and Chavis chases him down to the 1-yard line. Charlie Batch, that was a nice throw. Wow, a better catch, an unbelievable catch. And Dave McGinnis may be considering reviewing this. You see the red flag in his pocket. He hadn't taken that thing out yet. Well, but he also has the buzzer he can push.
First thing you do is push the buzzer, see if you can get his attention. He's talking to Bill Carollo, the referee. Let's take another look and see. He also may be challenging whether or not he was downed.
Arizona is challenging the ruling on the field that it was a catch and also down by contact.
From that look right there, it looked to me like Morton caught the football. I could not quite tell if Lassiter touched him or not from that angle, but it certainly looked like Morton caught the ball.
So they're going to take a look and challenge both, see whether or not he caught it. And as you said, from that angle, it certainly looked like a heck of a catch by Johnny Morton. The question may be whether or not he was touched down, and so far, the Arizona Cardinals have not won a challenge this year.
Over on the reversals. And I don't know that they're going to win this one because I think Morton made the unbelievable one-hand catch. When you see it, his arm and his hand are underneath the football. The ball does not touch the ground. The question to me is whether or not Kwame Lassiter touched Morton or not to make him down right there at the 32-yard line. Let's take another look at it. Now you saw the flag move a little bit, the towel that he's wearing, so that would indicate to me that there's contact. Tough to see from that angle whether or not the ball was caught.
This seems to be the better one. Well, now keep in mind, it was ruled that he was not down by contact, so in order to reverse it, they have to see something, as they say, indisputable visual evidence to prove to them that he was touched while he was down. Now, is that indisputable? I mean, can you say that for sure he was touched?
It's difficult from that look. I think I can safely say that, yeah, he was touched. From the one angle, I saw the towel fly up. It also looked from that angle that he hit him in the thigh. But to me, to overrule the fact that he caught the ball and make it an incompletion, I don't think you can do that based on what I've seen.
Yeah, I think the completion will stand. The question will be whether or not the ball is spotted back where he made the catch because he was down, or all the way down to the 1 yard line where it was finally tackled.
Right, and that looks like about the 32 yard line.
If they're checking on the first thing, whether he caught it or not, since that's the ruling on the field, can they check for the other thing, if he was touched or not?
That's DJ Johnson asking the question, and the thing is you can look and determine that a guy was down or not down. If you blew the whistle, then the play is over. You can't say, oh, well, he wasn't down, we made a mistake. But if he was downed and you did not blow the whistle, you can correct that on the replay.
You can correct it on the replay?
Yes, you can.
So if you go to the television to look for something else,
yes,
you can get something else that's coincidental.
As long as it was brought up, which is why on the sideline, Dave McGinnis said we're challenging whether or not it was caught and whether or not it was down.
Right, he opened up both cans of worms there. DJ, from your angle down there, could you see the play yourself, and do you have an opinion on it?
Terry, from down here, it looked like a heck of a catch. It just really looked like he extended out. He got the ball, he got his hand under the ball, and it just looked like a heck of a catch from here.
Well, as I said, I don't think the catch is going to be disputed. I think the question is going to be whether or not they see enough to say he was down, as opposed to letting him get back up and run it to the 1 yard line.
The other thing is, because of where it took place down the field, the different camera angles are far away. You don't really have a definitive angle, at least that we've seen. And so Bill Carollo is a little bit handicapped in that regard.
Here's the call.
After reviewing the play, it's been determined there is insufficient information and camera angles to uphold the challenge. Therefore, the play on the field stands. Catch, first down at the 1 yard line. Arizona is charged with a timeout.
And you know what? I mean, the reality is, based on what we've seen, that's the right call. You can't say that he was definitely down from the angles that we had.
Well, try telling Dave McGinnis that. An emotional man, he just turns and going to live to fight another down, and now you got to get his defense going because the Lions didn't score on that, so there's still hope for the Cardinals to try and keep them out. But Detroit has been very good in the red zone so far today.
Johnny Morton and Bertie Manuel having a good old laugh after this 76-yard play. Set the Lions up at the 1 yard line, and they go with no wide receivers. Larry Foster, normally a receiver, playing in tight. Back to the end zone. David Sloan. Second touchdown catch of the day for him.
And they got McKinnon again. And the reason they're able to do that is because they've been able to run the football very well down in that area. Now here's going to be McKinnon. He's going to have Sloan, the tight end. And you see him get the late start because of the play action. Nice throw by Batch, but once again, the play action held McKinnon just long enough for Sloan to make that escape, get the separation, and Batch finds it.
So Jason Hansen on to try and re-extend this to a 7-point game, and all of a sudden, both these teams marching up and down the field on big plays.
Track me.
Hansen gets it. Only 2 plays, 77 yards. Capped off by the David Sloan touchdown, but credit Johnny Morton in that 76-yard reception. David Sloan, who makes his offseason home here in Scottsdale, Arizona, having a big day in the return home, if you will. 2 touchdown receptions. The last one giving the Lions a 28-21 lead.
And that, again, is set up by the play action for the Lions. I mean, they've had success. They ran it in earlier with the Corey Schlesinger touchdown. And so now the Cardinals are souped up to try and stop that run. And a little play action freezes the backers. And Sloan gets the separation.
Jason Hansen with the kickoff. Marte Jenkins from the 4. Jenkins going to be stopped after a return of 19 yards by Jimmy Wyrick. Another look at the touchdown.
Well, here's David Sloan right here. And you're going to get the play action. McKinnon is the guy that's got to cover him. And watch him bite. See him come up. Now he's got to stop the run. And the problem is Sloan gets a free escape. right here, Fadafehi, he's got to stop Sloan. He's got to be able to jam him and keep him in long enough so that McKinnon can read the play action and get over there. So Fadafehi didn't do McKinnon any favors.
Cardinals starting at the 24-yard line. That's Steve Bush in motion. Michael Pittman on the carry. Back to Los Angeles and JB for an NFL game break.
Heard Chicago accused of being too conservative last week on offense. Look what happened on successive offensive plays. Miller hooking up with Booker. That one for 44 yards and a touchdown. The next possession when they get it, it's Miller and Booker again. This time for 66 yards. 3 times they've hooked up for touchdowns today, and the Bears lead it 24-9 over the Bucs. Back to Kurt and Ray.
All right, JB, the Bucs in jeopardy of falling to 4-5, and I'll tell you what, I'm a believer in that Chicago Bears team.
Yeah, I have my doubts, but you look at them, and every week they just keep pulling it out.
Jake Plummer under pressure, escapes again. Ball batted incomplete. Barrett Green got a hand on that one, intended for David Boston.
And Plummer's scrambling around in there again. He gets the pressure, but that's when he's at his best. Jared DeVries has a shot to make a play. He's going to work back inside. He's the outside rusher up top here, and there he is. He just misses Plummer, and Plummer takes a shot at the end from Rodgers. But Jake Plummer has done a great job of moving around inside the pocket. Now, Detroit wanted to contain him, keep him inside, but he's burnt him inside. And he threw that long touchdown pass to Sanders inside the pocket, scrambling.
He's got to get him to the 34 for the first down. Plummer decided to bring it down and throws it incomplete right over the middle of the field. Tywan Mitchell, the nearest Cardinal, and it looked like he saw a guy and decided not to throw it.
He had Arnold Jackson wide open coming across the middle, and it would have gotten him the first down. He saw it too late, and so and then Jackson got picked up, and so he had to just throw it away. So he overshot the thing, just throwing it away down the middle instead of trying to force it in there and coming up with an interception, which he does not want to do again.
You know what? That's the first 3 and out by either team today, with 3:55 left in the third quarter. Chad Stanley with the punt. Larry Foster. I tell you, find it hard to find a better played game than the one played by these two quarterbacks and these two offenses this afternoon.
Really an outstanding football game being played today, and we have not seen Mike McMahon, who we expected to see when we talked to Marty Morningweg. He anticipated and told us his plan was to get the rookie McMahon in here, get him some time today. He's done so in the last 2 games. I think just Charlie Batch and things have been going so well today that he said, hey, you know what? Let's let it roll. If it's going good, let it roll.
He's 18 of 26, 266 yards and 2 touchdowns. Why would you take him out of the game? That's Lamont Warren on the run, and we've seen Lamont Warren as the running back here in the second half. Ruben Drone started the game in place of James Stewart, but there's McMahon, and he should stay on the sideline all day long the way Charlie Batch is playing.
Well, I have to agree with you, and you know, the Lions, they want to break him in. He's a rookie. They are impressed with him and his physical tools and his skills, and they just want to get him in there and groom him a little bit and also evaluate him a little bit.
But you can't do it at the cost of victories. Batch over the middle, pass complete to Johnny Morton, down to the 46 of Arizona. 15 yards on the play.
Give the Lions offensive line kudos and credit for picking up this blitz, because it's coming again. Here comes Tillman, there goes McKinnon, and they pick it up. Schlesinger gets his man. It's Matt Joyce picking up his old teammate, and he was hoping to get a hold of Tillman, and he did on that one. And they just buy time for Morton to break away from the coverage.
Johnny Morton, his 4th 100-yard receiving day of the year. That's Lamont Warren. Warren picks up 9 yards on the play. This is what they wanted when they brought in this West Coast offense under Marty Morningweg.
And there's Marty Morningweg, and he's calling the plays, and he relays them to Kevin Higgins, who is the quarterback's coach, and then Higgins is the guy who talks to Charlie Batch. And this is kind of new for Morningweg, because when he was that offensive coordinator in San Francisco for all those years, he talked directly to the quarterback.
2nd and 1. Out of the backfield, Corey Schlesinger just lowers that shoulder Pickup of 7 yards and another Detroit first down.
And again, the Cardinals are bringing the blitz. The problem this time is they were late with it. Watch how late Lassiter is coming on the blitz. And here's McKinnon. He's going to have coverage on the back, and he gets picked on the way. But if your timing on your blitz isn't there, that means the quarterback's got a chance, and you got one-on-one coverage. You got man-to-man coverage. The offense is going to win that if they've got time and they protect the quarterback.
Lamont Warren now spread out in the slot. Now goes in motion. That's changed the play. Goes up top for Johnny Morton again. Incomplete. Corey Chavis giving chase.
Listen to Charlie Batch change this play. He expected another blitz, I believe, and so he's at the line of scrimmage, and listen to the audible. And he got the one-on-one coverage that he wanted on the outside, and just didn't throw a particularly good pass out there to Morton, who was covered well that time by Chavis. And you see Batch, he's being even sharper here in the second half.
He completed 6 in a row before that incompletion. 2nd and 10 from the 30. Batch being chased from behind by Fred Wakefield. And that's the first sack of the day for the Arizona defense.
And again, they get it on the blitz, and they're coming from the backside. Here comes the blitz. Tillman comes, and Wakefield's here, and he's the beneficiary. You see Backus, he comes inside to pick up the blitz, and nobody gets Wakefield. Some miscommunication between Schlesinger and Backus. Both of them blocked inside, and that let Wakefield come unmolested.
Seven-yard loss on the play, so it's 3rd and 17. Lions have to get it to the 20. Lamont Warren. Going to be short. Pickup of 7 yards on the play. Pat Tillman with the tackle.
And that's the first screen of the day we've seen from Detroit. And I don't know, Brendan Stye must have had a sty in his eye, because he went right by Tillman out in the open field. Detroit had 2 blockers out there, and neither of them picked up Tillman. He came through and made the play.
Well, one thing that happened on the pass play was Charlie Batch got over the 300-yard mark for the 3rd time this year. But it'll set up a 49-yard field goal attempt by Jason Hanson instead. Hanson, one of the more accurate kickers in NFL history, extends the lead to 10 points with 2 seconds to go in the 3rd quarter. Next Sunday, R2-D2 is coming to Fox when he joins the Fox NFL Sunday pregame show. Then at 7, 6 Central for the first time on television, Star Wars, Episode 1, The Phantom Menace. And following the premiere, don't miss the sneak peek at the StarWars.com documentary, R2-D2 Beneath the Dome. The humorous behind-the-scenes look at the droid and his rise to stardom. It's all coming at you next Sunday, only on Fox. You a Star Wars guy?
Yeah, I am. I like the first ones. These new ones, I don't know about them yet.
I only saw the first.
I got to see them another 100 times, and then I'll tell you.
I only saw the first Star Wars about 2 years ago. I don't get it. Yeah, but I guess 25 years afterwards, the technology's not as exciting, and I don't know.
Right. Well, in May, the number 2 is going to come out as well. So all the Star Wars freaks that are out there get excited about that one.
Now, what about Star Trek?
I'm a big old Star Trek guy.
Old Star Trek,
yeah.
The TV show, not the movies.
Exactly.
Wasn't a fan of the movies. Not big on Picard and all the other new guys. Captain Kirk.
I'll tell you some Star Wars, the Detroit Lions offense today. You got some stars going there. Charlie Batch, Corey Schlesinger, Johnny Morton, David Sloan.
Jason Hanson, who just hit that 49-yarder. Kicking off, and that goes out of bounds. First bad play, really, we've seen from the Lions all day long. That's going to give the Cardinals the ball at the 40-yard line.
Kickoff out of bounds by the kicking team. By rule, the receiving team will keep the ball at the 40-yard line. That's the end of the 3rd quarter.
So Arizona will begin the fourth with excellent field position. After 3 quarters, it's 31-21 Detroit on top. Fox NFL Sunday will continue from Tempe after this.
You're watching the NFL on Fox.
Back in Tempe for the start of the fourth quarter. Lions on top 31-21. Kurt Menefee, Ray Bentley, and DJ Johnson with you. This is the first time all season long the Lions have taken a lead into the fourth quarter as they look for their first victory of the season.
And that's a big lead, 10-point cushion. I'd be willing to bet you they haven't led anybody by 10 all season.
But it can be tough against Jake Plummer, king of the fourth quarter comebacks. He starts this period from the 40-yard line. Ball batted and incomplete. So you see this team, and they've had so many close losses. They've been right there at the end every week. This time they get to play from ahead with a little cushion. Might this be the thing that gets them over the hump?
I think it is. I think this might be the time for the Detroit Lions. However, they've lost the last 5 in a row in the fourth quarter when people have come back on them. So we got to let that play itself out. But up till now, they have played excellent football. The one thing they're going against is Jake Plummer, who is the master of the fourth quarter comeback. So we'll see what he gets here today.
Had won week 4 to beat the Philadelphia Eagles in Philadelphia. And he escapes again. Completes the pass. That's Arnold Jackson with his first NFL catch. Jackson, a rookie free agent out of Louisville, the all-time Division I-A leader in receptions with 300 as a college player. That's number 1 in the NFL.
And it came on another Jake Plummer scramble. And that's where he's at his best. I mean, you can talk about all you want about how Jake has to learn to operate the offense and sit in the pocket. And all that. He is at his best when he's running for his life. And you can see those close games we talked about with the Lions.
It's a 3rd and 7 for Plummer and the Cardinals. They've got to get it right to the 50. The pump fake going up top. There's a penalty flag. That was intended for David Boston, but Kurt Schultz just took him out.
Well, Schultz felt like he was beat. I mean, the pump fake, Schultz bid on it going out on the deep out route, the deep corner route, and Boston was going to take him up the field, and Schultz says, no, you're not. You're not going to get a free touchdown. I'm going to hit you right here. And that was just Schultz cutting his losses.
Pass interference, 45, defense, automatic first down.
Goes the guilty party.
There's double coverage. You see Schultz over the top. Boston, see him look outside, and now he's going up deep. And Schultz knew that he was going to get beat. His feet had stopped, and if Boston continued, it was going to be a touchdown, so he just knocked him off the pattern. And here's taking a big hit from Rodgers is Jake Plummer. Plummer's taking his shots today, I'll tell you that.
That turns out to be a 29-yard penalty. Michael Pittman with a pickup of 3. Kelvin Pritchett on the stop.
Jake Plummer, who has done a great job of avoiding pressure, but he's been under pressure all day long. I mean, the Lions have gotten after him both with the front 4 and with the blitz game. He's been hit 11 times, and I can think of 3 of those off the top of my head that were huge hits.
But he's also made big plays scrambling out of the pocket under pressure. Over the middle, Steve Bush. And Bush with a pickup of 7 yards.
It's his first NFL catch, too, I believe.
That's his second. Yeah, he had one earlier in the game when Ron Rice got in.
That's right.
Chris Claiborne on the tackle there. We'll see if he got the first down. And Bush is a guy, well, just signed before the game last week against the Giants. Had been with the Cincinnati Bengals for 4 years, but played right here at Arizona State with Jake Plummer.
Yeah, Plummer lobbied for him. Hey, I got to get one of my guys here. And Dave McGinnis likes Bush. He said, hey, in some of our packages, he's the #1 guy. He's shown that already, that his ability to block might be better than what they have with Mitchell or Hardy. And here he gets that catch and gets the first down.
There's another local boy done good, I guess. Went to Paradise Valley High School here in Phoenix. Arizona State right here on this field in Tempe. Played with Jake Plummer, and now getting to play with the Arizona Cardinals and getting a key first down here in the fourth quarter. What did McGinnis tell us? You thought it was a good inauguration by Bush last week?
Yeah.
Political humor.
Yeah. Again, this is good for a few of those one-liners.
First down at the Detroit 18. Plummer rolling on the throw towards David Boston, but a nice job by Todd Light to smack it down.
Well, they try and roll Plummer outside to give him a little room because he's been under such constant pressure. Get him outside. Now here's Boston. He's just going to run a hitch route. Just turn it around, and there's early contact by Todd Light. And I think that the officials missed this one because Light comes up and bumps him right there, and that's before the ball got there. I think that should have been pass interference.
No call, just falls for an incompletion. Plummer pump fake up top for Boston. In the end zone, touchdown Arizona Cardinals.
I don't know what Terry Fair was thinking on that one because he wasn't even within 5 yards of David Boston. And give Plummer some credit for looking off the receiver, or the defender, but I mean Terry Fair, his eyes were stuck in the backfield. He bought into Plummer's head fake, and he never got close enough to Boston to make a play.
David Boston, who already has a 13-yarder for a touchdown today, gets one from 18 yards out. And Bill Grammatica's extra point makes it a 3-point game once again. I dare you to find a better matchup than this today in the league.
Fox NFL Sunday is brought to you by Chevy Trucks, the most dependable, longest-lasting trucks on the road. By Norelco, for an unexpectedly close shave guarantee. Put it to the test. By Madden NFL 2002. EA Sports, it's in the game. And by Dr. Pepper and your local Dr. Pepper bottler. Be you, nothing's better. Dr. Pepper.
David Boston, his second touchdown catch of the day, and Terry Fair, another local guy who grew up here and went to South Mountain High School in Phoenix. Looking forward to the homecoming, but got caught looking the wrong way on that touchdown pass. Bill Grammatica. Larry Foster from the 4. Ronaldo Hill on the tackle.
Kurt, let's take a look at this again, and we'll look at it both at the same time. You're going to watch the fake by Plummer on the slant look. Here we go. You saw the slant over there by Boston, and that was the pump fake, and now Terry Fair bit way too hard on that fake. And the problem was he had his eyes in the backfield. He was cheating. He was peeking at the quarterback, trying to make a big play, and Boston got the separation, and Plummer threw it in there.
Look at these two teams in the red zone today. Both teams absolutely perfect, getting touchdowns in each red zone possession.
Perfect on offense, that is.
Spoken like a linebacker. Charlie Batts, quick pass, Johnny Morton. Morton brought down by Corey Chavis after pickup of 21.
Well, you know, the Lions came back to this because I showed it earlier where you had Morton get inside on Chavis, and look at the separation that he gets. And Detroit saw that from up top as well, and they told Charlie Batch, hey, when we go back to this, get the ball to Morton on that backside slant. And they did so with perfect execution.
Morton now 156 yards receiving. Batch. Did he make the catch? Johnny Morton made the catch. Raynaud Thompson picks up the fumble. Now we have an official saying it was incomplete.
Oh, it's one of them late calls that is not going to be popular here.
Originally, no signal was called.
Second down.
And there's Bill Corollo saying that it was incomplete. Take another look.
Yeah, everybody swallowed their whistle on this. Here's the umpire right here. Let's see him if he makes a call.
And he stands there.
Yeah, he's not sure what he's going to do. Then the call came in late, incomplete pass, which I think is the right call.
I agree. But they did not call it originally. In the end, they made the right call, huh?
See if we can.
So it's second down at the 43. Backs broken up. Adrian Wilson.
Wilson did a nice job coming up out of his zone and breaking that one up. But let's go back to that last play and see if we can't hear the whistle and see if it was blown. Take a listen. There was absolutely no whistle on the play. You play till the whistle blows.
Third and long for the Lions. They got to get it to the Arizona 47 and penalty markers down before the snap.
Well, we heard the whistle that time.
Prior to the snap, false start. 76, offense.
Boy, and you wonder,
Remains third
is it
down.
starting to unravel for the Lions again in the fourth quarter?
That's Jeff Backus, the left tackle. I'll tell you, you're right. Coming into this with the largest lead they've had all year at 10 points. It's the first time they've gone into the fourth quarter with a lead. And this team, which has yet to win a game under Marty Mornhinweg, may be showing signs of stress. But there's still plenty of time. 12-11 left to play on third down. Bats to Lamont Warren out of the backfield. Does some dancing and doesn't get enough.
What a great hustle play by Russell Davis on this one. Number 98 for the Cardinals. He's going to be right here. He's going to get the penetration initially. Look at Davis right there. See him get inside. Now he pressures Bats. Now watch him turn and run. Here's Big Davis. He's going to track that thing down and make the tackle as well. That's a huge play by Davis.
John Jett set the punt. Arnold Jackson with room to run from the 14. Springs it outside. Finally forced out of bounds by Kurt Schultz. 47 on the punt, 24 in the return. The sun is setting here in the Arizona desert, but we're only 4 days away from a Thanksgiving tradition. Football on Fox. It's the Packers at the Lions. It all, of course, begins with America's favorite pregame show, starting at 11:30 a.m. Eastern Time, 8:30 in the morning Pacific, only on Fox. Jake Plummer and the Cardinals trying to make sure it's still a winless Detroit team that gets to play in that game. 0-8 right now. Plummer and the Cardinals, though, find themselves in a 3-point hole to the Lions. First down from the 37. Plummer going up top. Marte Jenkins makes the catch. Dragged down by Kurt Schultz.
Marte Jenkins, all he did was out-muscle Todd Light. I mean, there was contact going down the field. Here he is, Jenkins on Light. Now he's going to run, and you see Light, he sees it all the way, but watch the contact right here, and Light just stumbles. And Schultz is a little late coming over the top to help out. He makes the touchdown-saving tackle, but that's just Marte Jenkins being a little more physical than Todd Light.
53 yards on the play, and Jenkins in there because after Sanders had the 68-yard touchdown, he left with an injured hamstring. That's Michael Pittman. What a day this has been for the passing game. Both quarterbacks over 300 yards right now. Batch at 326, Plummer at 331. We've got a couple of receivers over 100 yards.
Going back to that last play, Jake Plummer, I didn't give him the credit he deserved. He dropped that one off a building on a dime. And that was beautiful. He threw it right over the top. Came right in on perfect timing for Marte Jenkins.
After a 3-yard pickup by Pittman, 2nd and 7. Penalty marker down on the play.
Offsides, Detroit.
That's the call from Bill Carollo.
Offside, 96, lined up in the neutral zone. Half the distance to the goal. Repeat, second down.
That's on James Hall. And I'll tell you what, I never understand how a guy lines up in the neutral zone.
Well, you're trying to get as much of that ball as you can and help you get off that line and you know, make a better play. But there's things built in. The guys on the end of the line have to look down every play and let you know. I mean, you got to be able to help each other out. And James Hall didn't get the help he needed on that one.
So it's second and goal from the 4. Plummer looking up top. Marquez Jenkins, touchdown, Arizona Cardinals.
Again, I don't understand what Terry Fair is thinking. I mean, that's twice now he's been beat right in that same corner of the end zone because he doesn't have tight coverage on the receiver. You see Fair, he's looking in the backfield again. That's the #1 sin for a cornerback. You've got to have your eyes on your man, especially in that red zone when things happen a lot quicker and you got nowhere to go with it. And again, Fair got caught peeking.
Bill Gramatica with the extra point, and Arizona takes the lead 35-31. Marte Jenkins, his second touchdown of the year.
Here's Marte Jenkins up here working on Terry Fair. Now look at the cushion. You can't give him that much room, in particular in the red zone. And the next thing you can't do is backpedal in the end zone. Look, he gets all the way back 3 yards deep in the end zone. You can't afford to do that down there because the ball's got to come out that fast. You can't retreat into your own end zone.
Marte Jenkins, just his second touchdown catch of the year. The other, with 9 seconds left to beat the Philadelphia Eagles. Might it lead to another victory? That gives Arizona its first lead of the day at 35-31.
Just 5 minutes ago, Detroit was up by 10. What happened?
Larry Foster from the 4. Cody Reinhardt wraps him up right at the 20. We send it out to Los Angeles and JB for another game break.
Hey, Kurt, Kent Graham, of course, in for the injured Tony Banks. Hooking up here with Michael Westbrook. 4th touchdown reception of the season for Westbrook, and it's all tied in Denver. Time permitting, we'll take you there. Back to Kurt and Ray.
Talk about bouncing back from that 0-5 start. The Redskins 3 straight wins, a bye week, so they had 2 weeks to get ready for today in Denver.
And they've got a chance still in that division, although the Eagles are starting to look like a runaway team in there. Another big win for them today.
And the Giants play Minnesota on Monday night. From behind for the first time today, starting at the 20. Charlie Batch thrown behind, broken up, incomplete. Bert Emanuel, the intended receiver. And Emanuel looks like he's hurt.
Well, he's writhing in pain down on the field. And another Lion getting injured. I think Charlie Batch is late throwing that football. I mean, if he gets the ball earlier to Bert Emanuel, now Emanuel's got a chance to do something with it. You're going to see Emanuel come in across the middle. Right there he is. And Batch's got to get him in earlier. If you get the ball earlier, now you can make a clean catch, and now you have a chance to do something against the linebacker. But that's just Emanuel losing concentration on the football.
Well, it looks like Raynoch Thompson kind of landed on his leg awkwardly and got it twisted while he was kind of falling over. And remember, Bert Emanuel, the reason he's here is because of the injuries to Herman Moore and Jermaine Crowell.
Yeah, you can say that about the Lions. They've had their injury problems this season. You get a West Coast offense, you need some receivers, you need a good running back, and you need a solid offensive line. They've lost a lot of guys. Crowell, Moore, James Stewart. It's been a tough year for the Lions, and we have another one, Bert Emanuel, down on the field. Here's Bert Emanuel coming across, but Ray Thompson's going to land on him when his legs go back over the top, and this is where Emanuel gets hurt. Right there, you see the leg bent awkward and funny, and that's what hurt Bert Emanuel.
He was helped off the field, didn't put any weight on that left leg. After the incompletion at 2nd and 10. Ward. Pick up of 4 yards. We pick up JB for another game break.
Take a look at the #1 ranked defense in the National Football League at work here. Pittsburgh on defense. Joey Porter strips the ball of Jonathan Quinn, recovered by Pittsburgh, and it leads to this Cordell Stewart run for the touchdown. Pittsburgh knocking off Jacksonville today, 20-7. Let's take it back to Kurt and Ray.
Man, it's like the old days. The Steelers doing well, the Bears doing well.
Steel curtain, that's a phenomenal defense. Getting it done, I think, despite Cordell Stewart playing quarterback.
On third down, Lions needing to get it to the 30. Cardinals show blitz. That's batted in the air, picked off. Fred Wakefield fights his way into the end zone for the touchdown.
The blitz pays off. Here's Kwame Lassiter. He's going to come in. He's the one who gets the pressure. He bats the ball. Wakefield's sitting right here. He's tied up. And look at what dropped out of the sky. Penny from heaven. So now here goes Wakefield. And you got to give credit to Anderson. He almost caught him coming up from the sidelines, but Wakefield takes it into the end zone. And the Cardinals have scored 17, actually 16 unanswered. Actually, it's 20 unanswered here in the fourth quarter.
Then in the extra point, which Bill Gramatica gets through.
21 straight points.
9:04 left to go in the fourth quarter. 5 minutes ago on the clock, the Lions had a 31-21 lead. Now they trail 42-31.
And that is just amazing, Kurt. We talked about it. And, you know, hey, are the wheels coming off? And they come off as Lassiter, he's going to show up late. Right up here. Here he comes on the blitz. Gets the hands up. Good timing there. And, boy, sometimes when it rains, it pours if you're a Detroit Lions fan. You thought you had your first one. You're up by 10 starting the fourth quarter. Things are all in place. Marty's going to get his first W. Batch is having a great game. And then all of a sudden, the wheels come off.
Well, Fred Wakefield, the rookie free agent, has a sack in this game. Now it's his first career interception, and he scores a touchdown on it. And that's the first defensive touchdown scored by the Arizona Cardinals this season. The credit Kwame Lassiter for getting in there and batting that one into the air to allow Wakefield a chance to get it.
Well, that blitz is always a double-edged sword. And Detroit was capitalizing on it early. They were picking up the blitz, and Batch was completing the ball downfield. But you got to give the Cardinals credit. They just kept coming. Larry Marmee and his guys kept coming with the blitz, and it paid off for them.
Well, there you see the season average. Both these teams way over that. Gosh, the Cardinals have scored more than their season average here in the fourth quarter, and we're only 5 minutes into the period. 6 almost. Bill Gramatica with the kick to Larry Foster. Foster wrapped up by Marcel Shipp.
And he ran into a wall. Actually, a Zach wall.
You know, we talked about it during the Open. These two teams have found a way, not necessarily to win this year, but a way to lose. And the Lions right now seem to be on track, having blown a 10-point lead here in just over 6 minutes of play.
Yeah, and it's amazing. You know, they just don't have any confidence. I think that's the bottom line with the Lions football team right now. They just don't quite have that little bit of belief that changes these kinds of situations.
That's Corey Schlesinger fights his way out to the 30 for a pickup of 7. Back to Los Angeles and JB.
Hey, Kurt, how nice to have an additional weapon by the name of Jerry Rice. 3 touchdown receptions today as he guides Oakland to victory. They are now 7-2 atop the AFC West. Kurt and Ray.
All right, so it's the Steelers, Bears, and Raiders, just like the old days. Pass batted down incomplete by Batch. Going to bring up a 3rd down.
Boy, and it happened so quickly. Charlie Batch having perhaps his best day of the season. And all of a sudden, the floodgates opened up.
And keep in mind that with the injury to Bert Emanuel, Desmond Howard hurt earlier, they're down to 3 wide receivers in a game they're down double digits. Charlie Batts out of the backfield of Warren, and Warren going to be a couple yards shy of the first down thanks to the tackle by Ronald McKinnon. Down to DJ Johnson.
Hey guys, you know, this has been just like a mass unit down here today. For the Cardinals, we had Burke out with a stinger. Frank Sanders goes out with a hamstring injury. And for the Lions, of course, we saw Ron Rice with a serious neck injury earlier. Desmond Howard, their star returner, with a shoulder injury. And now their productive receiver, Bertie Manuel, is out with a knee sprain, and it does look pretty bad. It's just been crazy down here, but these guys are fighting on. Back up to you, Kurt.
All right, DJ. Lions obviously going for it on fourth down. They got across the 33 for the first. Kwame Lassiter with the interception.
5 games in a row now for Lassiter.
6 interceptions in the last 7 games for Lassiter. The last 2 possessions by the Lions end in turnovers for the Cardinals defense.
And the problem with this one is Charlie Batch. I mean, this was a speed outcut off the motion. And Batch doesn't throw the football. He's got it. Watch. Here's the motion right here. Batch has got a 1, 2, 3. Throw it right now. Instead, he keeps running out there and then tries to hit on the second level to Anderson. But he had Morton open right there. He needed to get rid of that ball on that third step to get the first down, and instead he held on to it.
We talked about this Cardinals defense early in the game, and Dave McGinnis told us he doesn't know sometimes how they do it. So many free agents, so many young guys, but they scrap, they keep their team in games. Now, they gave up 31 points today, but they came through here on these last 2 possessions with the turnovers. Michael Pittman with a short run. We send it back to Los Angeles and JB for another game break.
Hey, Kurt, take a look at what's happening in Tampa. The quarterback sneak by Brad Johnson. And now the 2-point conversion to Allstott. It is now 27-24 Chicago, and there are 2 minutes and 29 seconds remaining in that one. Kurt and Ray.
All right, JB, a couple of good finishes going on around the league. Detroit still looking for its first victory. Arizona with the ball, though, 7 minutes to play and an 11-point lead.
Well, we thought we were going to have a good finish here, but it's been all Cardinals in the fourth quarter.
Michael Pittman on the ground. They keep it there as they continue to run clock. At the start of this fourth quarter, Lions with a 31-21 lead, but Jake Plummer to David Boston for an 18-yard score, then Plummer to Marte Jenkins for a 3-yard score, and then Charlie Batch picked off by Fred Wakefield, who ran it back 20 yards for the touchdown, and just like that, a 10-point lead turned into an 11-point deficit.
Boy, you see Brennan Stein on the sideline with his head down like that. And I think that kind of captures the moment right now for the Detroit Lions. They're shocked and in disbelief that it's happened again.
That look says it all, doesn't it?
I mean, what do you have to do?
Well, let me ask you this. So many of these losses, the last 5 by an average of 4.5 points, and this team stayed together, and they were able to withstand that, saying, we're close, we're close. You have a big lead in the fourth quarter today, and you wind up losing it all. Might this be more devastating than the close losses?
This one's going to be a crusher. I mean, now we still have some time left, and Detroit still got a chance in this. They need to rise up and make a play right now, but if it continues like this, this is going to be the one I think that really is going to make some people start to doubt.
Cardinals need to get it to the 27 to keep their drive going. Plummer on play action. Throws it nowhere, incomplete.
You got to question the play call by the Cardinals in this situation. Just a 3rd down and 5, and they're going to go to some play action and throw the ball incomplete, stop the clock, and now it's punt time, and it's going to keep Detroit alive.
Well, they're not going to punt, actually. They're sending Bill Gramatica on for a long field goal attempt. And up until the last 2 drives, I mean, the Lions showed that they could drive the ball down the field today. Bill Gramatica on to try the 50-yard attempt. And he gets it through. The rookie with the longest field goal of his career so far. 50 yards, extends the lead to 14 points. He doesn't get quite as excited as his brother Martin when he scores, but Still a little jumping up and down by Bill Gramatica.
Well, as a former linebacker, I hate to see kickers running around dancing out on the football field. Just kick it, go over there, and get your job done. You know what I mean?
Well, the Lions unfortunately saw him last week when Gramatica Martin kicked the field goal to win the game. There's Bill. He doesn't have quite as much hops as his brother.
Yeah, he's going to get to that. I think it's, you know, he's a little younger, rookie, and you can see he's awful excited. He goes in there and gets in the jungle with the big boys.
So Arizona with a 45-31 lead. You see them working on Bernie Manuel's knee. 25 unanswered points for the Cardinals, all here in the fourth quarter.
Thing about it is, though, with 6.5 minutes left, and the way the Lions have moved the football today,
it's not out of the question.
No, and
2 touchdowns.
And they got to make sure that they realize that. You'd hate to see them bowing their heads on the sidelines. That's not what you need right now.
Larry Foster from the 2. Foster out to the 37-yard line. Good field position. One way to start. Next week, it's another full day of NFL action, beginning with the undisputed champion of pregame shows, Fox NFL Sunday. Then 2 offensive powerhouses collide as Jeff Garcia and the 49ers keep pace in the NFC West when they battle Peyton Manning and the Colts. Or Ricky Williams and those Saints visit the Patriots as both teams try to stay in the playoff hunt. Plus other regional action. Coverage begins at noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific, only on Fox. 6:21 to play here in Tempe. Cardinals on top, 45-31 of the Detroit Lions. Lions starting just shy of the 38-yard line. Back. Lamont Warren. Forced out of bounds. Just shy of the first down marker, looks like. Sekou Sanyika pushed him out.
Nice play by Lamont Warren, making Corey Chavis miss out there in open space. The Cardinals defense now, they're going to be content to play back there in the zone. That one was a 2 deep zone, rushing 4, and just make them catch it underneath. Make Charlie Batch throw those dump downs so that they don't give up the big play and just eat that clock up.
Well, he did get enough for the first down at the 48. Batch just gets rid of it, throws it out of bounds.
And that was just a 3-man rush, and McKinnon actually came late. He was sitting in there kind of as a spy, and he did a nice job of coming up and forcing Batch to throw it away. But, I mean, this here is a critical drive for Marty Mornhinweg and his Detroit Lions, and it looks to me like the life has already been sucked out of Detroit.
There's certainly a different feel to this right now, where they were playing with so much verve and so much confidence going into this quarter, and it seems like it's been zapped. But that can all come back in one big play, we know. Batch working from the shotgun. Pump fake. Goes for the big play. Larry Foster. Down inside the 20 to the 16-yard line. 36 yards on the play. We send it back to Los Angeles and JB.
Hey, Kurt, the Tampa Bay defense had done a job holding and forcing the punt to Chicago, but look at what Brad Johnson does. Throws a pick, picked off by Tony Parrish with a little less than 2 minutes remaining. Back to Kurt and Ray.
All right, JB, Lions going with the hurry up. Corey Schlesinger stays on his feet. Nice job after Ronaldo Hill hit him.
That last play by Charlie Batch, he actually had 2 guys open as the Cardinals zone defense, to me, got a little lackadaisical. They got 2 deep in their zones. He had a man open down the middle where he pump faked it, and that froze the safety. And then he pitches a strike outside to Foster, who is in front of Lassiter, who was too deep in his zone. Again, you don't want him throwing over your head, but in front of you for 30 yards is just as bad.
That's out to Corey Schlesinger, who was wide open.
Batch, I think, just made a last-second decision. He was going to throw it over the middle. He's looking over the middle. Go ahead and run that thing. He's looking over the middle right here, and that's not there. So late in the thing, he wants to throw it out here, and it's just too late for him to make a good throw. Kind of changed his mind in mid-throw.
You can see Schlesinger was alone. Third down, but obviously this is 4-down territory. They can get a first if they can cross the 7. Batch for Johnny Morton. Broken up by Adrian Wilson.
This is a great job by Wilson. The first just sugaring the blitz. He's in there. He looks like he's going to blitz. Here he is. Right. Look at how far inside he is. And yet he bails out and he takes the great pass to cut off that slant route. That's good instincts by Wilson, knowing exactly where he has to go. Took the proper angle to get in front of that slant pass. That Wilson's a pretty good player.
Yeah, he is.
I see him as being a good one for years to come.
Their third-round pick out of North Carolina State. Fourth down, if they cross the 7, they get the first.
They're up there showing that blitz again, and they bring it.
Quick pass out, Larry Foster makes the catch, fights, got there. First down, Lions.
Give Larry Foster all the credit because Tom Knight read the route. He was right up on it, but Foster's extra effort. Watch this, the spin move and then the dive to get the first down. Give Foster credit. He knows what the situation is.
Batch on first and goal from the 6. Throwaway. A lot of red jerseys there in the end zone.
And Lions trying to flood the zone over there, and the Cardinals anticipated, covered everybody up, so Batch had to throw it away.
Best passing day of Charlie Batch's career, but it won't mean a thing if he doesn't get the win.
Lions score here. There's still plenty of time to stop it, stop the Cardinals, and then get another shot to tie it up.
Batch towards the end zone. Lamont Warren, touchdown, Detroit Lions.
Give Charlie Batch credit in this drive. He hung in there. He made the plays that need to be made to keep this Lions team alive. Warren comes out of the backfield and he gets inside Wilson. That's one thing you always want to do, is keep inside leverage when you're in coverage. If you give him the inside, that's a much easier throw for the quarterback, and Batch, all he had to do was zip it down the middle.
Jason Hanson for the extra point. And it's now a 45-38 game thanks to the 6-yard touchdown reception by Lamont Warren.
Lamont Warren's right here, and Adrian Wilson's got him man-to-man. What's going to happen is Warren's going to get inside. You see, Wilson was late getting outside, so now it's inside leverage for Warren, and that's a much easier pass. You see Wilson hammering the ground. He knows he messed this one up. Batch put that in the right spot. That's a nice pass from Charlie Batch, and it kept the Lions' hopes alive.
Batch goes over the 400-yard passing mark for the first time in his career. We have seen 31 points scored between these two teams with 4:11 left in the fourth quarter. 31 in this period alone, I mean.
Devoid of defense. The offenses have just pretty much had their way throughout the day. Early on, it was big, long drives, converting third downs, and then as the second half came around, it became big plays.
68-yard touchdown pass to Frank Sanders, a 76-yard pass that set up a touchdown from the 1-yard line to Johnny Morton. Batch at 400 yards, Plummer 330. Sanders over the 100-yard mark as a receiver. Morton over the 150 mark as a receiver. Boston at 80. If you like offense, this has been your day.
And it's been a well-played game, too. I mean, you've pretty much had it all. And now the Cardinals are taking a timeout.
When was the last time you saw a timeout before kickoff?
I don't believe I ever had it.
Fox Tuesday. Catch Kiefer Sutherland in a new episode of 24. That's this Tuesday at 9, 8 Central, right here on Fox. And if you missed the second hour of 24, you can catch it tonight and tomorrow night on FX. So be sure to catch your local cable listings. Have you seen that show at all?
No, I haven't.
Each episode is 1 hour in the day, and it started at midnight. And so there have been 2 episodes. So the first one went midnight to 1, the next one 1 to 2. And he's a secret agent, and he's trying to stop the president or presidential candidate from being assassinated the night of the election. And Kiefer Sutherland is the secret agent, and the whole season will go hour by hour in real time.
All right, you got me hooked. I'm going to have to watch.
Speaking of shows, have you seen that Bernie Mac show on Fox?
I did not, but I heard good things. I heard an interview with Bernie Mac talking about it, and that is one I do want to see. Bernie Mac's a funny man.
I'm a Simpsons fan. Best show on television after all these years, no doubt. But Bernie Mac is laugh out loud funny. If you want hilarity, watch the Bernie Mac show on Wednesday nights.
Lions faked the onside lineup, and now they're going to kick it down the field.
Marte Jenkins bounces it outside. Jenkins going to be brought down at the 30-yard line. Brock Olivo in on the tackle. And Olivo is one of those interesting guys. Here you see him on the special teams tackles.
And Olivo, he's on this team because of special teams. He's one of the top cover men, I think, in the ballgame right now.
Now, he says when he's running down on kicks, he has music in his head. But he's got Mozart.
Mozart.
How many football players? Rondo Alaturk, which I'm told, I don't know anything about Mozart, but he says it's a Turkish war song. So that's what's in his head as he goes downfield. He's thinking about the collisions he's going to take part in.
Whatever it takes, you know what I mean?
First down for Arizona. David Boston makes the adjustment but can't make the catch.
That's a great play by Light.
It certainly was.
Out.
Talking about Brock Olivo. Talking about Herman's head.
There you go. Here's Rondo Alaturk.
How does that get you fired up as a football player?
I don't know. I think he needs some new tunes.
Michael Pittman. Chris Claiborne with the stop, and obviously, you don't need to say it, but this is a huge defensive series for the Detroit Lions. And they call a timeout to try and stop the clock with 3:47 left, leaving them 1 timeout. And of course, they've also got the 2-minute warning.
Well, you can't accuse the Cardinals of shutting it down earlier.
No.
I mean, in that last series on a 3rd and 5 before the long field goal by Gramatica, they threw the football. And now here on 1st and 10, they take a shot with David Boston. So, you know, they're definitely not sitting on it.
Well, look at the numbers from this game. 400 yards for each team. Big day for Charlie Batch. Big day for Jake Plummer. His second career 4-touchdown game. But the difference was that 24 unanswered points in the 4th quarter by Arizona. The Lions just answered it, though, with the score to get it back to within a 7-point game.
Right, and this now becomes a huge down right here. You know, it's going to be a 3rd and I'd say 7 yards. And if the Cardinals fail to convert on this one, they're going to have to kick the ball to Detroit with plenty of time left.
Well, the Cardinals have to get the ball to the 44-yard line to keep this drive going. So far, they're 3 and 5 on 3rd and 7 or more this afternoon.
And this, to me, is David Boston time. And that's my money guy.
Boston not on the field at all in that play. Michael Pittman with the run, and he's going to be stopped far short of the 1st down, and the Lions use their final timeout. But I think you're right. How can you not have David Boston on the field, whether as the guy you're throwing to or even as a decoy?
Yeah, I mean, it's 3rd and 7 here. You have to have your playmakers on the field. I don't understand what Dave McGinnis is doing in that situation, especially when they took the shot on 1st down and they threw the football to Boston and almost got it completed, except for a great play by Todd Light. You know, the other thing I don't understand is the Lions using their final timeout. There's 3 minutes and 39 seconds left. To me, you're better off saving that timeout so you burn up 30 seconds and let them punt the football. You still have that timeout, and you still have 3 minutes to go. So I question the coaching on both sides at this point.
Well, there you see the Detroit Lions, and those 5 losses by 8 points or less have been their last 5 losses. Most in the league so far this season. Right now they're within 7 points. And after the punt, they're going to have the football with just over 3.5 minutes to go on the clock.
Which is a lot of time.
Chad Stanley in just his 2nd game as the Cardinals punter. That's to Larry Foster. It's going to be short. Foster muffed it. But he falls on top of it, and the Lions retain possession right at the 25. Let's check in with JB again and see what's going on.
Hey, Kurt, in that Chicago-Tampa Bay game, take a look. Tampa Bay trying to drive for a score here as Brad Johnson hits Warren Gunn. Gunn is hit out of bounds by R.W. LaPorta's flagrant foul. That set Tampa Bay up for this game-time field goal, a 48-yarder by Martin Gramatica. He missed it. Chicago's sole possession of the NFC Central improves to 7-2. Back to Kurt and Ray.
So we saw Bill Gramatica celebrate his 50-yarder. No celebration for Brother Martin. Lions start at the 25-yard line, down by a touchdown. Looking for that first win of the season. Thatch. Under pressure. Gets rid of it. And he had Lamont Warren over there, so it won't be intentional grounding, but Sekou Sanyika got on right on top of him. There you see the 2nd biggest passing day in Lions history behind Scott Mitchell.
Yeah, and it looks like Batch, the way he's been throwing and working all day, he's got a chance to break that record. I thought he held that one too long. He had the dump down right away. He should have just dumped it out to Schlesinger. Let's move the ball down the field incrementally. He's trying to get too much in that first down play.
Warren and Schlesinger in the backfield.
Blitz.
They pick it up. Johnny Morton threw his hands, incomplete. Fox Tonight Thanksgiving here a couple of days early. Help yourself to a serving of brand new episodes. The Simpsons, the best show on television. Malcolm in the Middle, a darn fine show as well. And the X-Files starting tonight at 7:30, 6:30 Central, only on Fox.
Here's Johnny Morton on that last play, and he's just going to run deep out. And a little comeback, and boy, felt like he should have had that one. I think he hurt a finger on that play. He laid on the ground for a while, but he knows he's got to be in there. They don't have anybody else.
They're down to just 3 wide receivers. Bash steps up on the center. With time over the middle intended for Morton, and almost picked off Adrian Wilson. That Charlie Batch 53rd pass attempt of the day. That also a Detroit Lions record. But you got a feeling there's going to be 54 here on 4th down.
Watch David Sloan. I think he's wide open coming across the field when Charlie Batch misses him. I mean, look at Sloan. There he is. You've got time. You've got to get the ball in there. Instead, he tries to force it down the middle.
This is a big 4th down. Obviously, with 3:11 left on the clock, there's a possibility they could get the ball back if they don't convert here. But look at the field position that would put Arizona in. They need the 35. They got it. Larry Foster. Gain of 13 yards.
Heck of a throw by Charlie Batch. I mean, you know, Chavis is giving Foster a little too much respect, but you have to. Here's Chavis covering him up, but look at the room there. There's a lot of room, and now Chavis is cheating. You see his eyes in the backfield, and he isn't able to react soon enough. And I got to give Charlie Batch credit. This is a great throw under pressure. I mean, that's a rope right where it needs to be.
Johnny Morton now in the backfield. Batch. Throws it out to Lamont Warren. Makes a spin move. We send it back to Los Angeles and JB for another game break.
Take a look at what Washington is doing at Mile High. Kent Graham again in for the injured Tony Banks, hooking up with Zeron Flemister. That score makes it 17-10. If it holds, Oakland will have a 3-game lead in the AFC West over Denver. Back to Kurt and Ray.
Well, Kent Graham, of course, spent some time with these Arizona Cardinals.
But the resurgence of the Redskins, that's an amazing turnaround for Marty Schottenheimer, the old school guy. I like that.
That's working from the shotgun on 2nd and 5. Pulls it down and eventually throws it, but it's incomplete to Johnny Morton.
Johnny Morton still, something's a little wrong with him.
Yeah,
I mean, he kind of just threw himself at that football. That did not look smooth like Johnny Morton usually looks. See a Detroit Lion record for Charlie Batch. And he wants more than that, I'll tell you, because Detroit still has a chance, trailing by 7, to pull this one out, which is they had it in control, they lost it, and now they're fighting to get it back.
And he works out of the shotgun on 3rd and 5. Completes it to Larry Foster. And Foster gets 7 yards and another first down. Larry Foster has kind of been his go-to guy here in the 4th quarter.
Foster's coming through in the clutch. He caught the first down pass on 4th and 10. 3rd down and 5. They go back to Foster. Now he limps off the football field.
And once again, we've said it, they only have 3 healthy receivers right now because they lost both Desmond Howard and Bert Emanuel in this game.
They have to put Lamont Warren out there at a receiver.
Bats for David Sloan, and it's picked off. Kwame Lassiter. The 2nd interception of the game for Lassiter, 3rd of the day by the Cardinals defense on Batch.
And I think that was a mistake by the Lions. You know, there's no need to go and hurry up that play. You got the 2-minute warning coming. You have a first down. Just let that thing run out to the 2-minute warning. You got another receiver injured. You know, let the troops gather up on the sideline. There's no need to hurry right there. And instead, they do hurry, and Charlie Batch is forced to make a tough throw, and it's an interception. I just think it's poor management on the football field. Here's Schlesinger right here, or I'm sorry, Sloan right there. And he just overshoots him a little bit. But to me, that's a bad play from the get-go. You don't need to snap the football right there. You got the 2-minute warning coming. You got a receiver hurt. You only have 2 left. You put Lamont Warren out in the slot. Just let the clock run to the 2-minute warning and regather. They didn't do that.
Kwame Lassiter gets his 7th interception in the last 7 games. Michael Pittman stopped by Sean Rogers. 2-minute warning stops the clock. Lions out of timeouts. They've got to find a way to stop the Cardinals and get the ball back. Down 7. A beautiful day by Charlie Batch. 3 touchdowns and 400 yards. Suddenly gone awry here in the 4th quarter with 3 picks.
Well, he set Lions records in completions, attempts, and yards, but I'm sure he'd trade that for a W.
Michael Pittman. Pick up at 6 yards, and the Lions within 7 points. A spot they're used to. Their last 4 games, Joe Nendy's 46-yard field goal was the difference against Tennessee. That has a pass intercepted by Darrell Williams with less than 2 minutes left. That lost that game. Larry Foster against the 49ers 2 weeks ago can't hold on. They lose that one by 8. And last week in Detroit against Tampa Bay, Martin Gramatica 35 yards with 4 seconds left. And that was the difference there.
There's your Gramatica running around again.
3rd and 3 for Arizona. Pittman, and he's stopped, but bounces outside, keeps it alive. He's going to be out near the first down marker, needed to get to 44.
And I don't think he got it. Nice effort from Barrett Green is staying with the tackle, but that's going to bring up a 4th down. And so I believe the Cardinals are going to have to punt the football. Well, they'll measure it first.
Exactly, which stops the clock for Detroit, at least temporarily, helps them out.
Well, then there'll be a minute left, and they'll run 25 off of that. So the Cardinals will be right around 35 seconds when they punt. And then the course of that play, what's going to end up, Detroit's going to end up with the football between 20 and 25 seconds.
Now the thing is, Larry Foster has had a big 4th quarter as a receiver, but their main weapon on special team, Desmond Howard, 8 punt returns for a touchdown in his career, Super Bowl MVP, Super Bowl 34, but you know what, 31, pardon me. But he was hurt on the opening kickoff, has been gone, so that's a weapon that they don't have here in the final minute. Don't forget, tonight on Fox, The Simpsons, Malcolm in the Middle, and The X-Files, all coming up after we're done with football. And after we're done here in Arizona, time permitting, we'll take you to Denver for the conclusion of the Redskins-Denver Broncos. And last we saw, Washington on top in that game, looking for their 4th straight win.
Right, 17-10, the Redskins up on Denver there. But here, Chad Stanley's going to try and hang this one high and eliminate the possibility of a return back there.
Terry Fair back there.
And Fair is, I mean, this is his hometown. If something's going to happen, it's Terry Fair time.
There's his family. They're hoping for more than just a fair return in Detroit. Chad Stanley, who 2 weeks ago was working on a tractor at his father's construction company, having been released by the San Francisco 49ers, now finds himself needing to boom one to help Arizona hang on for their 3rd win of the season.
The Cardinals burned 24 of the 25 seconds off the play clock and game clock, so 36 seconds left. They take the timeout.
That's Arizona's final timeout.
You know, the last time Terry Fair was here, he picked up a fumble and returned it for a touchdown. So
that was in a game here, obviously, against Arizona, right. 1999.
We've seen some strange things today. You just don't want to count anybody out yet.
Well, this has been an exciting day on offense for both teams, and it started out, well, with just about everything kind of going both teams' way. They kind of split. David Boston had a couple of big receptions. The Lions also getting a couple big plays. It was tied at 14 at half. In the second half, the Lions came out and took a 10-point lead, but back came the Arizona Cardinals. After that touchdown gave Lions a 10-point lead, they scored the next 24, did Arizona. And there's Terry Fair with some running room. Fair goes down at the 35-yard line, making mama proud. Sekou Sanyika on the tackle. 48 on the punt, 26 on the return. More importantly, 23 seconds left on the clock. Lions with no timeouts, and they're about 66 yards away from the end zone.
Yeah, and with no timeouts, Charlie Batch is going to have to work the sidelines. He's going to have to get out of bounds to stop the clock, or you're not going to have enough opportunities. Now you need a couple of completions along the sidelines. Now then you're going to be close enough where you can take your shot and throw the Hail Mary.
Johnny Morton, 7 catches today, 153 yards, including a big 76-yarder that set up a score. Back towards the sideline. Grab made by Scotty Anderson, who gets out of bounds near the first down marker. 17 seconds left in the game. Down to DJ Johnson.
Hey guys, I just overheard Johnny Morton on the sideline saying that his body is completely beat up. He can barely bend his right knee, and he had ice on his left elbow. So his body's in bad shape right now, but he said, I can't come out. This is the time of game they need me, and there's no one else to replace me at this point. So we'll see how he fares in this series. Back up to you, Kurt.
All right, not to belabor the point, but with the injuries, only 3 receivers available right now. And you see Mike McMahon, the quarterback, now in at wide receiver. He's in the slot.
That's how depleted they are. McMahon's got to run patterns. And Batch, of course, goes the other way.
Lamont Warren makes the catch for the first down, steps out of bounds right at midfield. 11 seconds to go.
Let's check out how Mike McMahon, I mean, we know he's got good feet. Let's see what kind of patterns he runs. Little post. Hey, he was open. Give me the ball. But, you know, with 11 seconds left, I think he got one more shot to the sidelines. Try and get it just a little bit closer, and then you take your prayer. And Batch has to tell McMahon which way he's got to go, and he ends up out here.
11 seconds left. Batch from the shotgun. High snap, but he gets it. A lot of time towards the end zone. Batted around, incomplete. Kwame Lassiter knocked it down, intended for Scotty Anderson, and there's still 2 ticks to go.
So the Lions take the shot right there, and then that's what they've got left. I mean, that's what you've got left. You got one more, hit your knees, and let it fly.
Kwame Lassiter, who has 2 interceptions, had a tip on the 3rd interception here that was run back for a touchdown by Fred Wakefield. Has really been the guy to stand up for the Arizona defense here in the 4th quarter.
He's their playmaker, there's no doubt about it.
final play of the ball game, or at least regulation, from the 50-yard line. Bats with time, going for it all. And it's out of bounds, incomplete. Arizona hangs on for the win. The Detroit Lions came into the fourth quarter with a 31-21 lead. Arizona struck for 24 consecutive points. The Lions got it back to within a touchdown, but they fall to 0-9 on the season, losing today 45-38. Arizona now 3-6.
And this is the one that I think is going to hurt them. I mean, they were in control at the start of that fourth quarter with a 10-point lead, and then it just seemed to all fall apart for them. It's just a lack of confidence, lack of an ability and a belief to close.
Well, this game was tied at 14 points at halftime, and in the second half, the Lions came out and got a touchdown run by Lamont Warren to go up by 7. Plumbers and Sanders hooked up for 68 yards, scored a tie at 21. But the Lions came back, took a 10-point lead, and that's when it all started to fall apart. There's Fred Wakefield with the touchdown on the 20-yard interception return. Kwame Lassiter with one of his 2 picks. And Dave McGinnis and the Arizona Cardinals walk off with their 3rd victory of the season.
The McGinnis team goes to 3-6. They talked about the season being in 2 halves and wanted to start the second half, you know, on a positive note. They do so, and they still have a chance to maybe make some noise in that division. I mean, they're 3 games behind the Eagles with 7 to go, and so and they still get to play teams within that division. They still have a chance maybe to at least fight for a wild card. For Detroit, boy, this is a tough one. This is going to be a long trip back to the Motor City, where you're going to have to figure out, you know, where are we now, and where are we going to go, and what's going to happen.
Well, there you see the standings in the NFC East. Washington just won, so Washington now 4-5 on the season. Arizona goes to 3-6, and Detroit, despite putting up nearly 500 yards of offense today, loses 45-38. We'll be back to wrap things up from Tempe right after this.